perfect their craft, and now they're gonna face each other. SSG, they can get crazy with it. I have one note for them to see in this matchup. Be on the same page, because sometimes they get a little bit too individual in their heroics and it kind of falls apart at that point. For Virtus.pro, do your good old solid. We can play structured, we can hold angles, we can play slow, but as long as you have a little bit of flair of aggression sometimes. You can't just be passive. They were good at it in the previous major, you gotta stay good at it in this event. SSG banning Blitz is what I thought Virtus.pro would actually be doing.
SSG love their Blitz.
Exactly, like Forrest has been so good on it, and frankly, Virtus.pro's big struggles with the shield meta, back when there was like the Munchie, the Blitz, the Fuse, they don't play shields, and they were forced to ban it every single game. Sure, shields are weaker, Blackbeard's introduced, but I do think that this is gonna favor Virtus.pro more now in this current given meta game than 6 months ago.
Oh, wow. Peculiar start already going to Chalet. We, of course, in our first match of the day that we casted Liquid Joel, we saw a whole bunch of shields. We saw Blitz, we saw Blackbeard, and we saw that Montaigne. Now, Blackbeard and Monty are left in. And as you said, though, when we think of Virtus.pro, we think of this really traditional team. They were phenomenal, at least 4/5 of this roster. Back in the good old days, 2019 was their heyday. They were major champions in Raleigh. They were Six Invitational runners-up in Montreal. They were Pro League champions in Milan. And they like to play Siege in that older style. And that doesn't usually involve the aggressive shield plays, at least maybe in a different form back in the day. They love their set pieces. They love their hard strats that they know before the server starts, they know exactly what each of them are going to be doing in the first, second, and third minute of every round.
That's it. That's literally it. And the only thing that this roster doesn't really have for Virtus.pro is they've never had like a proper shield player, but they have somebody like Dan, someone like Pasha, who we see right in the first round. Dan is on the Blackbeard. This is a quote-unquote shield operator, but you have a primary assault rifle as well. This could be Virtus.pro's first time in really inventing a shield operator into their lineup, like on a consistent level. So I like the fact, first round, already experimenting, while still bringing that classic utility lineup. Capital, Flores, of course Striker with double throwable utility to like ADS burn or my burn. They can get any attack done with this lineup. It just comes down to execution and get into the bomb site with enough players alive, like 4 or 5 attackers.
Another thing that this attacker lineup breeds is flexibility. Every operator has a significant rifle in their hands. Every operator is capable of fragging out, clutching up. Every operator has some kind of utility to support the push and has a level of independence as well. Even something like your hard breacher Ace is arguably the most fraggable hard breacher.
For sure, Selma's going out, and it seems like no response. We have a swing from Ashen, takes a lot of damage. Benji took about a bullet too early as well, so SSG are bleeding a little bit already in terms of like the health bars. Not the end of the world, but they are also sacrificing those player positions.
Oh, run out!
Run out, gets one, goes for a re-swing actually, this time punished.
That was a good move from Benja.
Yeah, the first swing was great.
Yeah, a little bit confusing as to why he'd go for a second.
He might have thought he was stuck. Maybe he was like, oh, this guy trench Thor, I can't quite make my escape. Maybe I go for broke, get 2 kills.
It's really awkward to take that fight looking directly upwards because you can't actually look exactly above you.
That's true.
In this game. So I'm not sure if maybe Benja thought he would get the shot there onto joystick and just unfortunately wasn't able to make it. But still, Dan's a big player to take down so early on. It's probably a worthwhile trade.
I think it is a worthwhile trade. Trading passive utility of Sentry, the recruit and defense, with the active use of Blackbeard. So I quite like this as well. Of course, it slows down VP further. And now they got this position. Off his swing, south, pressure from always. Huge gunfight for him because now they gain more map control. They can keep advancing forward.
Jane, I know, is very lucky to be alive right there. Should have been a dead man walking after his teammate died. He's now been able to cross back to Mezzanine. He's got the UMP with the scope as well. Not a bad weapon. Here comes Joystick. He managed to sneak inside and he's taken down J90. That's the danger of having that hatch and library reinforced. SSG were not able to shoot Joystick as he jumped in the library window.
Yeah, they give us so much space now. The retake, double blue staircase. Nobody on the bomb site itself. Yeah, we gotta sprint back on in. 30 seconds though. Has getting opened up. VP again. They got capital fire, capital smokes. They got flashbang grenades on always as well. So much utility to go, but no drones. They gotta go in kind of blind here and guns blazing.
15 seconds. VP have the numbers, but time is an extra player on SSG's side. And now they've found the first frag of the Execute as well. Shepard to make his way into the plant position, but this is going to need to be flawless. Forrest denies the plant, and that's all he needs to do. We kick off this game with a 1v3 from Forest.
Put one off there.
And they're ice cold about it. Where's the hype, boys? Come on! I
Bro,
mean,
you're meant to hear these guys from
I
across
know.
the other side of the west coast of the US. Like, what are these guys doing? This is not the space station we know.
I mean, we literally had a content piece before this matchup that was like, nobody asks when Ashen is playing because
you know.
And it's clips of him like being loud and it's keep popping off, and then they actually get a clutch going for them. But maybe it's the fact that that round didn't play out as cleanly as they would have liked. Also, I see why Benjamin out here. He saw the player on cameras, couldn't fight back, but he hesitated a bit there and lost the gunfight initially, or essentially. But Virtus.pro actually made a, I don't want to call it a mistake because it's not necessarily like a problem, but something that's uncharacteristic. They didn't have any cut in the map. What I mean by that is they weren't playing on that office double window. They weren't playing piano hallway window. So they were pushing SSG's roamers away from Solarium, master bedroom, office, and just forcing them back in towards library. Normally when teams do this, they will force them back and have a cut somewhere in the map where they can catch them, get those kills, do a bit of damage, or punish them somehow. Thankfully, VP found a different angle in. There was that library double window jump in because the head was reinforced and that joystick gets that opening instead. But VP are so known to cut the rotations in half. The fact that they didn't do it in that first round is a surprise to me. And I'll try and keep my eyes focused on if they're gonna fix that for these upcoming rounds to go.
We'll say, for all that we've said about Virtus.pro's playstyle being really rigid and being less opportunistic than the meta has typically been in recent years, that was quite an opportunistic round.
It was.
Particularly joystick jumping in library and taking the space when we saw that pressure coming from office side. That was good. And you need that on Chalet. I mean, such a small map, such a claustrophobic map. If there is space to be taken on the attacking side, you can't hesitate.
Is that a Solus I see? Is that a Solus?
We were talking about Solus, and what was that, 10 minutes ago? I was like, damn, I wish we saw Solus on Chalet earlier today.
Now we see it. And again, against a team like VP who are known for their intel games, similar to Liquid as well, it makes so much sense that despite Solus being a bit of meta operator, you can get a ton of value now. Flash strings flying out, the tracker going through, Jaina in a world of hurt right now, takes a lot of damage. He's going to be stuck in this corner for a while because he knows as well, crossing back is likely not an option. If you can just waste time, kill more drones, while Might is coming out, he might be okay. But if he moves, he will die.
Yeah. He's low HP, he's not going to get out alive. Here comes the E1D.
Such good discipline.
Fultz is just waiting. Now that Lion is visible with the solar scanner.
Hello?
However, Fultz doesn't even need it. It must have been an audio cue or just good game sense. He takes down joystick. Nump's advantage early on. They know exactly where he is. However, Fultz is looking to try and support J90 trapped in this corner on mezzanine. Fultz is caught out and finished off from 2 outside windows. And this should be the nail in the coffin for J90 as well. A huge retaliation from VP. The Americans are again on the rocks.
I love that discipline of Jaina. He's just sat in the corner waiting, and I like that actually they kind of moved the players up to support him, but they might have overcooked it a little bit. I think you gotta cut your losses, fall back, play the 4 versus 3. Now in this case, even numbers. 3 on 3, 50 seconds left. The thing is, the attackers, they kind of own the bomb side, with the defenders having the control up above. So this comes down to verticality or a retake down the staircase, but they have no idea.
It was a great bait there from Always. He didn't even take down the camera in West Main. Knowing
Genius.
full well that SSG were gonna waltz on down the trophy stairs unawares of VP taking that control. However, Forest is somehow able to reply from above. He does find that player inside. And now VP have lost control of the objective and they are gonna have to retake. Forest not rushing. He knows he can stay above. We've already seen one big clutch from him, and it could be the deciding factor again. Benji to take down Shepard, and yeah, it's all gone down the toilet now. Dan floundering on the objective, can't find a thing, and the Dane puts him down.
That was perfect. Good job, bro. It's been a fucking problem.
I'm really surprised at just the lack of route back to the bomb server Virtus.pro. I mean, they had Always on the side in that 3 versus 3. He gets the pick onto Warden, and then nothing happens for a good 20 or so seconds. Where were the last members of Virtus.pro, and why didn't they get into the bomb side in a safe manner? Because A, how did Always get in there? That route should be open. If he kills the player coming down Solarium stairs, you got Trophy Window, you got West Main. I feel like you had options, but they didn't have accurate intel about what was going to be clear and what was going to be a path of danger.
Man, look at that, Kajeka standing behind this VP roster. It's been a hot minute. Oh, man, how long has it been since we saw Kajeka on this lineup? It was Dan that replaced him, was it?
I want to say it was Dan, but don't take me up on that.
Well, we actually are in a very minor technical pause at
yeah,
the
we can
moment.
look it up.
So
I
I'm
want to
actually
say
gonna
it
go
was
get
like
this.
2020 era or late 2019.
If I recall correctly, he played Six Invitational with Empire.
Like for 2020 or for?
Yeah,
21?
actually, okay. It was a lot longer. He played a lot longer than I remember.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So Kajeka was playing on like the big statement that Empire made, the now VP roster, was at Invitational 2019 when they made it to the final against you guys and eventually lost. And then they went on to win Pro League finals in Milan. They went on to win the Raleigh Major. They went on to Six Invitational 2020. That was when they started to drop off. And then the following season was when Kajeka was dropped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about mid 2020.
Okay.
That was about when you guys picked up Virtue, I think.
We picked
after-
them up after SI 2020. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so same time era. Okay, interesting. I didn't remember Kaseka being against the final in Raleigh, actually. I thought that was then. But good thing to know. And with that, we're also back in the server. But a good old throwback, and I think, obviously, great coaches don't have to be former players. We've seen that so many times in the past.
No, and he played almost 5 years ago as well. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, sure, but I do think that standing behind your players as a former player yourself, same with like Fabian coaching a team or anything in that caliber, I do think it makes a difference to a degree, especially if players who are uneasy about the nerves, or they're stressed, or they're worried. Not that I think Virtus.pro, they have so much experience, they're not those kind of players, but I do think it can make a difference to some teams.
Yeah, I think also just the camaraderie of it as well
Yeah.
is not to be underestimated. It's nice to have a bit of history with other players. And when Kajeka was on that Empire team, he was in a way the face of that roster as well, quite a leadership figure with them.
Yeah.
And he did have a little bit of experience since leaving Empire on a few different teams. He had a short stint on Rogue, a very short stint on the old Virtus.pro roster,
Yeah.
and then TT9 Esports briefly.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, not to much success, I'll be honest. And then retired for about 2 years until now. Here's an opening pick for Fultz. Another aggressive jump out. That's 2 rounds now that we've seen SSG garner early picks from those.
Yeah, Dan falling both times. Blackbeard once, Thatcher here in the second attempt. And just SSG getting opening kills when they're on defense is very dangerous because they play such good fundamentals. Fultz is on a one-man mission right now. It's a 4+1 strat. 4 people, not counting Fultz, they're playing a strategy game. Fultz, he's just fragging out top 4 instead. Even if Fultz weren't finding these incredible frags that early in the round, look at it. We got Clash, we got Miro, we got Ward, we got Wamai. There is so much utility, but it doesn't
What the hell's
matter.
happening, bro?
Because Fultz is 1v5ing them top floor without anyone else even being near him. He's the only guy on that portion of the map. It's a basement defense.
Yeah, this is kind of embarrassing. This is the worst way to lose a round if you're VP.
Absolutely.
Especially knowing that they are VP. I mean, these guys are notorious for being quite cohesive and being together. They always have a plan and they execute it as a squad. And that's exactly what has not happened here. And the 4th kill.
He's 1v5ing. They've lost 6 drones, James. It's not like they're walking in blindly. He's killed all their drones.
He's not even Vigil. He's not even supported by a million mute jammers.
He's
Maybe there's a
one.
few Mozzie pests. He's just running around.
He's got 3 Magnets in his pockets.
No gadgets used. This is like your ranked teammate. And he spawns in on Jaeger, doesn't put down a single ADS, doesn't put down any barbed wire, and then just runs around the whole map. Farming. That's false.
Oh, they're going to escort it for the ace. Clash can
You
walk
gotta
up,
do it.
they got to do it. They got to try.
I'll tell you what, if we don't see this ace, I don't know what.
Here we go. Come on.
Shepard's
Come on.
like, nah, I'm good, thanks.
I mean, what are you... Poor Shepard, man.
I mean, at
He's
this
got to
point,
fire this,
surely-
but you can use one of those fire arrows, maybe. Or just...
I have a
around.
feeling this is a bit of a reset for Shepard. 19 seconds, sit outside the building, have a chat to the squad, see what's going on. Pack up this round, forget about it. It's not pretty. Stare at some Claymore lasers.
Yeah, this is a unofficial timeout right here. He's going to target 3 like you said. But I mean, I don't even know what happened that round. It's like Fultz was roaming top floor because you got to have some map presence. He just casually gets the most random 4 kills.
I don't like Bar that much. I think we go.
And just says, I don't like Bar that much. Like, he's so nonchalant about it. He's literally vibing.
I love listening into these comms. Not getting a lot out of them at the moment.
Then he stopped talking.
Yeah, thanks, Falls.
He's like, do you now? Timeout. Not surprising given what happened in that round, but definitely a bit of a sign of worry for me.
Yeah, it's an early timeout. I'd love to know what Kajek is saying. Can I say, the man looks younger than he did 5
He
years
does.
ago.
Yeah. He looks good.
I also don't speak Russian, so I have no idea what they're saying.
Give us SSG. At least we can understand. Mind you, both teams can speak with their coach, not just the team that calls a timeout.
Yeah, that's right.
So if they do go clear across, let's initially contest. We need to fucking cut our losses, and we can wait for fucking rally. We read them the clears. It is gonna be nicer though, I think. So after this as well, if we want to go back to base side, I think it's probably best just make the adjustment. Hey, you want to stop the ice, probably make some wall or something like that.
I love that from Call Out. I mean, he said the same thing. He also said that cut your losses because I'm pretty sure it's referred to like Jenano stuck in that library corner. They were overcommitting to try and help him.
Trying to save him, losing more players. Yeah.
He's
Whoever
like,
it was
20
that ran
health
to
cancel
library
in the
box.
corner. Yeah. It's like, you got some time. Oh, that is cheeky. Dan just droning a little bit too far. Look at this. Just holds the ankle, big window repel.
It's just like 5 50-50 fights, more or less.
Yeah.
He's just winning.
And then here,
And the disorganization. VP even pre-fired that.
they just, I don't know.
Not even any hype after that. Embarrassment.
I think SSG, they are entering maybe like a new stage in their career as a roster where they came in very loud, very hot-headed, very, I want to say dramatic, but like, you know, Ashen got loud and they started some fun beef, if you will. This seems like a more head down, the job's not done type vibe instead.
Yeah.
Like, they're not celebrating massive round victories, not the clutches. I know it's their first day, it's their first match playing here, etc. But still, this is very unusual for SSG, but I like it.
Yeah, they're not forcing it, right?
Yeah.
They're not forcing the hype in round 1 of their first match at the Six Invitational, and I'm fine with that. I would be very remiss if we don't see any more of that traditional SSG flavor and hype, especially out of a player like Ashen. I just don't think a team like SSG playing overly serious is going to do them any favors. I think you need that lightheartedness. It's part of what makes the spirit of this team so infectious.
I fully agree, but I think they've reached a state where simply winning and playing isn't good enough in individual matches. It's about placing high now and getting further in tournaments, because that has been the thing. They've had exciting matches, they've had good storylines, but they fall out of tournaments, I would argue, a little bit too early more often than not. And I think they're taking themselves a bit more serious now. We're like, okay, we can start showing up with the fun, the banter, and like with the entertainment once we earn our spot in the tournament, if you will.
No, that's very true. I mean, we saw the progression this year, a top 8 at Six Invitational in Brazil, but then struggling to go far at all in Manchester, only top 16, and then a huge upgrade, top 8 again in Montreal. And they'll be gunning not just for a main stage appearance, but wins on that main stage, especially as this is the inaugural Six Invitational in the United States of America, where 4 out of 5 of these players are from.
Exactly, so not the line, not much happened this round so far. It's been a very slow start for VP, which isn't all that surprising, but they're making 0 progress right now. Dan Butterblue and Blackbeard almost is taken on bad timing as well. They can't do it the mirror window because there's no Ash on the board. So kind of a weird / wonky operator lineup here for Virtus.pro, where they can't really deal with the problems in front of them.
Good nade. However, Janano still allowed to survive. The Ivana's Xkaris will destroy his mirror window, but Joystick's low HP. Pasha supports and is traded back by Forrest on the long angle. Nice shot with the holo. Forrest has been sharp today. Him and Fultz together.
Oh.
And there's one for the Blackbeard of Dan. Fultz' Ranatera put to sleep fairly early, and that's numbers now for VP.
This reminds me of
what is that?
Oh, that's a jump out, run out, and a P90 kill across the entire map. Doesn't do any damage, but eventually finds the headshot to finish it off. I feel like the whole cut your losses wasn't fully acknowledged in that round because they overstayed, but it's fine. Benji gets another one back to Dan. Joystick on Lion, always on the Deimos. Deimos getting almost no value this round, by the way. 2 trackers in pocket, not even inside the building yet. 20 seconds. I mean, they gotta just brute force this breach right now. They got no other options.
Can't criticize VP for not cutting their losses when this hyper-aggression seems to be paying dividends. And now let's execute 2 players from VP being held by SSG. However, 2 kills come out. It's all up to Benja. And always spots him, but the Dane gets him back. Way too close for comfort, Spacestation, but they rocket their way forward and get a second round on the board.
Not even a smile or a smirk from Benja. He's ice cold. I was thinking, okay, he's gonna run away. There's 7 seconds. No. He swings. He goes to the kill. Pure dominance right now from the mental side of things as well from SSG. They're fighting. They're not giving up. They always have like another play in their back pocket. Say, okay, we lost a player early. Let's slash on this window. Let's jump out over here. And I honestly thought, prepping for this match, I thought Virtus.pro's slower strategic approach would punish these kinds of aggressive plays from Spacestation with like drones or claymores or nomad air jabs, like something. But every single aggressive swing has pretty much punished Virtus.pro, which is not what I saw coming at all. Oh, there it is. There's some hype.
Yeah, finally seeing a little bit of it. The rounds have to get close to start seeing that side of SSG, it seems. Concerning, though. I mean, yes, this is SSG's map, but VP got to choose the starting side. They chose to start an attack. They have not found a single round yet. 4 have gone by, sailed right past them. A few clutches here or there. That SSG have looked so good.
I like this again, the continuous pressure. Even if you're not gonna get a kill because Ashen's running away now from that spawn peak, just punching the window, applying that pressure. Virtus.pro are gonna make a note, okay, they're spawn peeking every single round. Let's take like 10-second extra and spawn and slowly approach the building. When you're already a slow team, further slowing down your game fearing spawn peaks can make a big difference right now. And again, until Virtus.pro starts punishing Spacestation, I don't think SSG should change up anything in the current game plan. Just keep things the way they are, which look at the lineup, look at the player positions, they have not changed a thing. They're staying spread out, they're staying aggressive, they got their top floor, they got their basement, they are playing the full map to its full effect right now. And VP are just struggling with like getting the default cameras, breaking those castle barricades. They gotta do all that work first before entering the building, which again, it will be a slow round where time might be a problem for Virtus.pro.
At least we're seeing Always get to work on the Brava. Even though his first drone was spotted. Oh, here comes that Solus, though. Has been seen in Snowmobile. Perfect counter to that drone work. VP is such a drone-heavy team. Measure twice, cut once kind of roster.
Yeah.
And still, I don't believe we have any boots in the building yet. Half the round done.
Yeah, just entered library. Just joystick. It's the thing, once they get in, they can go kind of fast because they know what is and what isn't clear until they meet their opponents in like office, master bedroom, and of course the bomb site. I really like this Solus basement because you can find those flank cams, you can always try and go for a backstab. And given the fact that we know time will be running low unless they speed things up soon for Virtus.pro, that backstab flank can be so successful because you get one kill, chaos ensues, and you don't have time to fix the problems. You gotta rush the bomb site, for example. What is that?
That's awkward.
What is that? He just double swings the door. Okay, good trade back from Always. A hero play because they have to. That's the more unconventional aggression that they can like do it again. But again, the gunfight still just going the way of SSG.
And they're not timed together, are they?
Nope.
Here goes another engagement, though, and it does bring numbers even for VP. And Passion needs to recompose now. Keeping in mind that Fultz was roaming way far away from that bomb site. Forrest's been taken down. He was the only one on the bomb site. They've got Benja upstairs and Fultz on a far flank roam. That does open the gates now for VP on the bomb site as Shepard makes his way inside and starts to get that diffuser down. How does Benja respond? He doesn't. Always has spotted him. And now Fultz is in a 1v3. This was such a good position for SSG, and now it looks like there's nothing in it. Fultz can find a first. Another clutch is calling for Spacestation, but I don't think there's anybody to pick up. VP have such strong post-plant positions, and Pasha and Always can just wait the timer out.
It's almost impossible. He's gonna drop down, they're gonna walk upstairs. Post-plant is so difficult. You see the outlines,
Yeah,
they're already making their move. Unlucky.
Nothing to do except try and bait it and try and find some exits for Fultz. And Pasha puts him down. First round on the board for VP. About damn time. You can see by the looks on their faces that that is more of a sigh of relief than screams of joy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they won the round, but it wasn't all that clean. I think, if anything, SSG kind of maybe let go of the gas there for a second, kind of think, let's take our 50-50s, our 1v1s, because they are just swinging things solo. And of course, the final kind of nail in the coffin for Spacestation, they lost their only anchor player. They had Benja top floor, they had Fosun Solus in the basement, so VP just walk on in, they take the side, there's no verticality, there's no retake ability. This gunfight right here between Benji and Always, that could have maybe changed things if Benji gets the kill, but they didn't know where the plant was going down or when they started the animation of those 7 seconds. So that's the first round for VP. Things are great. Now you go back to basement, you bring out the Vigil, you bring out the Clash. Again, you're just annoying your opponent right now. Drone work is difficult. No longer getting those accurate intel because of Vigil. When you get to the bomb site, you gotta deal with a Clash. Most operators in the current meta of the game don't really deal with Clash all that well. We don't see Kali, Capitao, Nomad all that often. In this round, we're seeing 2 of those 3 operators, likely because they saw the Clash. So great job for Virtus.pro recognizing Clash will be a problem. We gotta deal with it. But they gotta get there first through the trees. Ashen takes down Hibana. That's your only real heart-reaching operator. Sure, you got cannon operators on the Capitao, but you need more than that to attack the basement.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And SSG will know full well when Pasha goes down, you know that that's likely one of your main, if not your main support player. That's probably your hard breach down. On this basement bomb site, hard breach is so essential. And yeah, a huge amount of utility has just been strapped away from VP, not to mention drones as well. We can see already 5 have been destroyed, 4 deployed, only 1 remains in pocket. It's not a good look for VP starting things off here. There's a huge amount of roam game to deal with, and Jackal is not a silver bullet for dealing with the roam game. It's a tool, yes, but you have to do the work with a man down.
I really like that we see folks just on cameras the entire time assisting the roamer saying, hey guys, there's just Solarian cam, so that's where they're coming from. But Fireplace is clear, top blue cam is clear. That means your back and your way back to the bomb site are both safe. You can stick around for as long as you want because you have a way back. Worst case, you send Clash up on those staircases and escort those players back down. So SSG right now, they're playing the peel back game. They're not gonna leave top floor until they have enough pressure upon them that it's bad to stick around. So unless VP roam clears it, they will have to deal with a flank later on.
There's an opportunity to try and soft breach. Oh, he's actually changing his mind.
JK.
Maybe he was baiting for a drone to see him go down. Oh, wow, that's a big pick. The Clash, how does Clash go down so quickly?
Air jab got triggered. I think Clash must walked into it, not hearing it on trench door.
That's awkward.
Yeah, very. But at least they trade back the kill, right? So it's still in man advantage for Space Station, but they've lost the most important operator, arguably. And then there was a second one with Cross. 3-on-3, no C4 in pocket, just 2 toxic babes with 60 seconds left. VP have a very realistic shot to win this round because they got a rotating boiler. They can just walk on in.
Crucial mistake for Genano. He's the only operator that counters all of the smokes that VP have brought to the table. It's exactly the opposite of what Callout suggested to do in that timeout, but Fulch is going to mark up and find his first pick. Here comes the cover, though, from Always, and he doesn't find it. He gets 2 kills. Now it's a 1 versus 1. He's just around the corner. And I think he heard him. Benja just around and they trade! That means Benja wins the round again! Another 1v1 for him! An SSG close out a dominant half, 5-1.
Oh, man. You watch that 2v1 for SSG, and I'm seeing the Vigil swing the breach. I'm thinking, don't swing the breach, brother. If you lose the gunfight, Benja in a 1v1, he swings it. Nonetheless, Benja, with the bullet trade, secures the round for his team. And when things get scrappy, SSG, they can play loose. They can play fun. They can play an entertaining factor. But this spawn peak, absolutely gross.
Oh, yeah, here's that.
So they bait traded.
Okay.
I think, honestly, there's a world where the Warden walks through the air jab and Clash has gone out. Instead of Clash walking through and the Warden swings, I think there's a world where you're expecting the Clash to get knocked with the shield, maybe covering the back bullets, and therefore you'll live.
Yeah.
Maybe that was their angle, but regardless, they got the trade play. It wasn't an accident.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Still, so weird. SSG are just like, they're not holding back. They're doubling down.
Yeah, they are.
What exactly was it that was said by Callout? He said, we cut our losses, right, and fall back. Yeah. That's not at all what we're seeing from SSG. No, really. They're doubling down. They're going all in. They're like, no, we're retaking Boiler with Clash and Warden. And then even after we get a kill, Warden is retaking it solo again and being caught out.
That's true. I do think there's a point to be made here that what we see as cut your losses and what they have strategized as cut their losses might not be the same.
Maybe.
But from our perspective,
does not look like they're cutting anything.
No, they're cutting through their opponents. That's what they're doing. Now, this is what I'm excited about. Sense got reworked in the most recent patch, and works a lot more dynamic. You can like put down the I don't know, the stingers. You can make them go up and down at a click of your gadget. It's much more flexible, much more versatile, and also it's no longer that is a smoke grenade, so you cannot see through it as Warden, as Maestro with cameras. Sense is very strong, but hard to play. And now we're seeing SG actually bring it out in their first attacking round.
I think it's not a overstatement to say that Sense is likely the most creative operator in the game, and
right now,
yeah, one of the most untapped as well. Early pick though, joystick goes down. That's a big one from Forrest on the Nook.
That's his specialty. Forrest, he creates so much space in this roster. Statistically, he's pretty average, if not behind the curve, but he creates so much positivity.
Oh no!
That's a Capcan trap on the window.
You check for the Frost Mask, but not the Capcan traps. They might be able to bait a kill out of it though.
Oh, genius, yeah.
Yeah, and that is worth it.
So smart.
Yeah, a little bit overzealous there from Always. I think he did manage to finish off the kill on the Forest at least, but it's not nearly enough.
But you're trading 100 health or full health for a 20 health injured person. It definitely favors SSG there. They're attacking. They're getting all this manpower. They got map space. They know that there's two less Capcan traps on the map as well. And now they're just hitting the reset. SSG are droning, they're checking, they're holding, they're waiting for an aggressive play. Okay, Pasha takes down Benjamaster, but you're still down a player, and both your defenders are in less than half health.
Pasha finished off very quickly by Ashen. Shepard really has to hope to isolate some 1v1s here. He may be gifted an opportunity, however, not to be. C4 could be big, but he doesn't blow it. That would have been a kill, and eventually it is. Needs to reload, but doesn't have the time, and Ashen stabs him in the back. And that is the 6th round for Space Station.
Russian bear, no eating in years. Russian bear, very hungry.
Russian bear, very hungry.
I'm trying.
VP are going to be starving tonight if this is all they can muster.
I'm starting to get a bit kind of confused. I'm trying to figure out, is this SSG playing incredibly well, or is this VP failing to meet expectations and the level that they usually play at? And I think it's a bit of both. I think I've been very happy with SSG in general, but I also think against, let's say, half the teams at this event, I don't think the plays they've been making would work the same.
Oh, no, not at all.
It's a bit VP kind of bottling some of these situations, whether it's Capcan swinging in the mud door on a Capcan trap injure like 10 seconds after the fact. Surely SSG will be able to respond, right? So, but a great look for SSG regardless.
It's funny, the VP are both respecting SSG not enough,
yeah,
and too much
at the same time.
Yeah.
It really is.
They're like, oh, nobody is stupid enough to run out a 5th time in this game. And yet SSG do, and it works. Like, I'd love to see a stat of how many kills SSG have gotten in this game have been either run-outs or spawn peaks. Because it's been a damn lot of them. Even like a ballsy one, like running out from trophy window to kill someone on the lobby rappel.
Exactly.
I mean, that is a very egregious play to make for SSG. And nobody would expect that because it's so risky. And yet that's exactly the game that they want to play today. And it's working to perfection. VP have barely had a look in.
What I will say is what SSG are doing, it makes so much sense on like a top-down perspective. Like even this play, it looks random. No, it's an off-pace push right now for map control and roam clear, and they got the intel. They've cut the map in half-down bar. They know there's a guy stuck in stockroom pool table. They're droning it. They should be a free kill.
Yeah, this is such an off angle as well. Benj has gone in.
Flashbang peek.
Flashbang goes in. The timing is not there. And he loses the fight. That's big from Joystick. All he needs to do is just get one kill and get away with his life. Any more time that he can waste is a gift. However, Faults eventually puts him down and finds his 10th kill in the match as well. Still, I will say for Joystick, that's a lot better than we expected him to be able to achieve.
That's a win. The fact that he gets a kill to Benjamaster there is definitely a worth it trade for Virtus.pro. I feel like that was a small hiccup from them. Nobody jumped in the window. The drone was a bit late in his time. They didn't bug up in the wall first. The line of sight cut. Either way, SSG get the map control. VP gets a kill. They're both walking out there thinking, that could have been better, that could have been worse, but we're okay with the outcome in front of us. The question now is, Virtus.pro, the other 4 players, can they hold on? Stan, a little bit quiet, 3 and 7 so far. We expect big things from him. Meanwhile, JNO injured, and of course, Forrest out dead as well.
Ooh, this is awkward. The black bit is deep in. J9 loses his head, and it's all up to Faults. A 2nd round on the board for VP. A very solid defense. It started strong. Joystick making the most of a bad position. Kajeka making sure that the team fires up, and Dan has plenty of words to say after that round. Even just a salvage of their pride to close this map would be a huge bolster for VP, keeping in mind this is SSG's map pick.
Yeah.
They layered the off swell.
Yes, they reinforced it like the eagle, like you know how people peek through that shit.
Okay. Trying to get the scoop there on the strat.
Oh, it's so fascinating watching the Space Station comms. I feel like we didn't really get that in our first game of the day. We didn't really hear much of the comms from the player cams, but SSG are, I'll give it to us for sure.
Always just sprinting through the building, picking up bodies as he goes along with it. Even had the Frostmat injure onto Blackbeard as well during that whole thing. Tons of value to be found. And I mean, for SSG right now, ideally, in a perfect world, you just kind of try a couple things right now. One thing works, you take the map 7-3, 7-2, 7-4, whatever. But of course, if you want to play the long game, the more strats you can hide on Chalet, the quicker you can finish this, it's going to be very good for the long term, especially because they've only shown their defenses. Half of those were just individual people getting out of spawn peaks with a false 4K. Yeah. They've shown nothing strategically on this map so far. If they can close it out this round to the next, they can pretty much say they didn't even play Chalet at this event yet.
Yeah.
And that's huge for long-term games.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping in mind the fact that Bank is going to be a very different beast.
Yeah.
And I think VP, if they can find their footing and get rid of the jitters that we're seeing on this map, start to peel back the layers and get a bit of confidence at dealing with this aggression, then Bank could be a very different story. However, an overzealous peak from Dan.
Yeah.
And he loses his life in the first 30 seconds to Forest.
He's had a really hard time individually so far on this map, and I hate to be the guy that, oh, Dan is underperforming, but it's like, Dan is such a pillar of this team, usually very consistent, and if he's doing poorly, we'll often see the team struggling in general because of that important role that he plays in like the front, middle lines of things. So now support players got bigger. Great shot from Benjamin, just get a kill out of nowhere. That's the top gun of always dead as well. But VP are solo swinging everything.
Yeah, and Fultz has found joystick as well. I mean, this is over, surely. Ella has been spotted, and Janino just aims down sights and kills him. Deadly Blackbeard finds another victim. Now it's all up to Shepard in a 1v5 with the SMG-11. Spotted and finished off by Fultz. A terrorizing game from Fultz on the SSG, boys. VP never stood a chance. 2 rounds is all they could muster, and Chalet is done before it even begins.
Yeah, that was a very quiet, calm, kind of peaceful map, if you will, for all the wrong reasons. VP just kind of fell flat that final round. They were hipfire walking out the map being like, where are the enemies? I'm dead. Like, nothing really happened on a cohesion team strategy level.
Yeah, a rough look there for VP. They did not play their best game today, but there is more game left to play. Bank on the other side of this break.
Available now. Well, what can only be described as a disappointing start for VP. They get slapped 7-2 on Chalet. Good news, it was SSG's map pick, so we take away a little bit of hope, but very minimal hope here. Unfortunately, Fox, VP just did not feel in this game.
Yeah, no, that's not what we expected at all, especially we highlighted VP on Chalet in Montreal and how aggressive they looked, but this looked like a classic Virtus.pro, back to the roots, playing slow, just trying to get into the map. And what did SSG do? SSG read them perfectly. They obviously did their research. They knew exactly where Virtus.pro was going to entry in every single time, and when there's 5 guys from Virtus.pro always trying to come in solar side, it really isn't that difficult for SSG to piece it apart, and that's exactly what we saw. Every single moment they were fighting them head on, they would get that opening kill, and even though that they would get the opening kill, they wouldn't let up. They would fight until they got to a position or a man advantage that they were comfortable with, and that's when you'd see SSG fall back to site. And I think that's where SSG just won it, was on their defenses. Virtus.pro couldn't even get into the build.
Yeah, Lax, we talked about this at the very start. We said, what kind of play style are we going to see out of VP? Is it going to be what we saw in Montreal? Is there going to be more aggression? I can answer that question. It was not there. They've reverted.
No, absolutely not. They have definitely reverted back to their play style of just being so static, so slow, and SSG was taking full advantage of it. You know, the prep starts outside of the game, and the execution and the adapting is what happens in the throughout the game, and we just did not see that from VP at all. And then when you look at the stats here, the one that sticks out the absolute most it's a sight for sore eyes when you look at it from one end, but SSG, the opening kills was just drastically in their favor, where VP just could not find a footing. But it goes into back with what I was saying. They were playing a lot slower pace. And if you remember the one round where Fultz gets a 4K, that was solely due to the fact that he was taking 1v1 engagements, where had they played a little more aggressive, had they just played with one another, that round maybe could have went a different favor, and then we could have saw 7-3. But overall, SSG did their homework. They came prepped, they came ready, and executed flawlessly.
And I'm really glad that you brought up Fultz, because we highlighted with SSG, for them to be more consistent in this event, we need to see one of the 3 older players show up big, because obviously that's the area where they've been lacking. And to see Fultz at the top of the leaderboard, yes, he was getting those 1v1s and he was winning them, but he had his whole team behind him. Even though he would fall down, they would always have a trade ready. So it gave him the confidence to be able to pop off, and that's what we wanted to see out of SSG.
Lax, are you a little bit worried for VP here? I know we've got great storylines for SSG now, but VP, they look down in the dumps right now. Look at that.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to be too harsh on them. It is hard not to after a performance like that, but it's starting out the entire stage. You know, it's starting out the entire phase, I should say. There's still a lot of Siege to be played. They still can bring it back. They're going now to their map on Bank, so they can easily bounce back. You got to wipe it off. These are well-experienced players. They know what it's like to lose. They know what they need to fix, but it's just a matter, are they going to fix that going into the next map?
Well, it is time for us to go to a very short break. On the other side, we head to Bank.
Tap, yeah, I want that. No lines, I don't cut back. Sweet, salty, and all that. Let loose, come get that. Can you play that back? Can you run that back? I'm trying to play that back. I want that. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Ooh, you feel that? Ooh, the real back. Ooh, I'm still that. Ooh, you catch that? Ooh, I guess that. The best back. Yeah. 30,000 up on my pallet. Might jump out if I'm wildin'. Catch my flow, I'm so stylish. Tap, real smooth. Can you play that back? Can you run that back? I'm trying to play that back. I want that. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go.
New map, hopefully new VP in this one. We head to Bank, and VP get to start on defense. Do you think that will change how this game?
Yeah, I think you got to feel good. They did go through an entire attacking half where they were able to get comms, get things flowing. They just couldn't then make it work on that defensive half. Now they're going to be starting defense here. So the beauty of that is they're going to be comfortable. They're going to be able to play static. They're going to be able to do what they want to do and try to control pacing a lot better. But what worries me again is that they can't get rounds mustered out to then switch to a side where they couldn't even put clamps on SSG on a smaller map. You're not going to be able to do it on a big map like Bank.
Right, putting clamps on SSG, and that's what worries me about Bank, because if Virtus.pro just plays slow, utility-style Siege, that's not what SSG's coming out the gate with. Especially on attack side Bank, the way that they play it, they're also split up around the map. They're abusing Garage, they're abusing the Skylights, they're abusing Dirt Tunnel, and they're constantly looking for these picks. So if Virtus.pro just sits and lets them do that, it's not going to go well for them. But we saw a little bit of life towards the end of Chalet where Virtus.pro tried to change it up, but at that point, the confidence was already shot. So if you can just not let that affect you going into map 2, you shake it off, you start from ground zero, but at least we need Virtus.pro to start shooting and going aggressive.
Lex, I got a quick one for you here. I do want to know a little bit about what you expect from VP in this first half. We've got a lot of and ifs and buts. When it comes down to it, we know what SSG are going to be like. We know they're going to be aggressive. We know they're going to be spread. They're going to be testing VP left, right, and center. How do they need to respond? How do VP respond?
They need to be the one setting the tone. You cannot let SSG set the tone, set the pacing of the match, because if you let SSG do that, they're going to absolutely run over you. And again, this goes back to what I was talking about previously with VP and where their success came from, is they were adopting a new playstyle. They were getting aggressive, so they weren't letting teams control the momentum. They were able to match that momentum. So if they really want to get a leg up against SSG, they have to match it slightly, but can still fall back to what they're used to. But what we were seeing throughout the majority of that last matchup, we didn't see any of that. We were just seeing basic VP that everyone knows that just loves repeating the exact same thing until it works.
Well, it's time for us to nearly get underway. Let's welcome in our casters again. Of course, comprising of 1/3 of the OCN 2019 Grand Final trio, Dev, Marta, and Pengu. How are you, gents? Are we ready for map 2?
Yeah, doing well. Strange accolade to pick, you know, amongst all the accolades that we have, especially the ones that happened in 2019. But yeah, what I want to see is VP actually fire up, because map 1 we got jack shit. Like there was nothing there for it. No. And Bank is a really good map for both teams. VP's on a 10-map win streak, and SSG are on a 7-map win streak. One of those get to get broken in a few minutes.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, boys. VP are going to have to go deep in the vault for this one. Enjoy Bank.
Thank you very much, Rob. What do you reckon? Can VP do it?
I think Lax can kind of hit the nail on its head, where it's like they gotta control the pace ball for VP, don't necessarily like run over them basically. How they're gonna do it, how they're gonna get there, I don't know. Because I don't know what kind of meta operators they have in their back pocket, but look at the fan vote. It's going further and further in SSG favor, and I think Chalet has told the story that they were the better team, left, right, and center.
Yeah, when it came down to the operator picks, the approach to Chalet, when it came down to the aggression, when it came down to gunfights, SSG had the number the whole time. Bank is going to be a different story, perhaps. Remains to be seen. This is VP's map pick, and damn, they love this map. But it's been a hell of a long time since we've seen VP get pushed like they did on Chalet. Now it's time to see if they can bounce back.
And the analyst floor, so to speak, the analysts, they spoke about how, like, VP, they were looking better on defense on Chalet, but only played a couple rounds on it. Now they start defense. And I'm thinking, that's fantastic, but you're playing Bank. Yeah. You do not want to be on defense at Bank because you're stuck in corners, long lines of sight. Most of those, like top floor CEO, Taylor's archives, they feel super restrictive and limiting on how and where you can play on the map, only leaving basement and open area. So operators, they're gonna ship this quite a lot. Monty being banned out, followed by Grim. Very different look than that on Chalet. Curious about these defender bans. There's gonna be Intel, for example, Valkyrie. I'm also kind of sitting there going like, there's Maestro, there's Kai, there's something like a Goyo that can really slow things down. VP, they say. Mira. Okay. That's a surprise to me, actually.
I guess VP love a Mira. They love a solid, staple operator, tried and true. There's a lot of places you can put it. Doesn't just work on the basement.
No, you're not wrong. It's just, I feel like there's such a simple solution with like bringing the Ashe.
Yeah.
However, now that you don't have to bring Ashe just for the Mira, it frees up your flexibility on the attack and side, so that could be an angle.
And we've seen SSG, they want to be bringing things like the Sense. They want to be bringing the Blackbeard. They want to be bringing these off picks. They don't want to be forced into an Ashe Ash or a Hibana or a Twitch or however they want to deal with that mirror every single round. But as you talked about, it's SSG starting in the driver's seat on the attacking side. The last 3 times that SSG have played Bang, they've won 62% of their attack rounds.
Okay.
That means that they would expect a 4-2 split here. Their win rate on defense is down at 53%, so still positive on both sides, right? They're really good on Bang, but quite a significant difference. Their attack is so much more profound than their defense. So this is where that they would be hoping to get the majority of their rounds. VP really have to bounce back and prove that this can be a competitive series.
So one of the big key differences from Chalet to Bang is Chalet is all about the mini executes, right? The roam clear, the setup, taking library, getting the middle portion of the map. Bang often plays out very differently, where it's easy to get the initial map control, like whether it's like, you know, Heaven Skylight, Lobby. If the site isn't in those areas, like right now, you can just take a free. There's no contention for it. And Bang comes down to the late round full-on executes, the 5v5s, the 4v4s, you know, the bomb gets planted. So stylistically, very different flavor than Chalet, which can play into VP's favor, of course, being a more structured team, but SSG has always been known to have a great understanding of strategy, and then just drop the heads out of nowhere and gets a kill.
Yeah, okay. So SSG have already set the pace. We have a rushing Ashen through lobby, and we have a quick drop from Benja taking down the only roamer, seemingly, from Virtus.pro. That's the entire map control done in 50 seconds for SSG.
Yeah, and I actually think what SSG did there, they did what I call an off-pace play. When you're a pro player in these lobbies, you're sitting there going, they're not going to reach this area until like 1 minute 50 left on the clock, or until like I hear a certain sound cue. An off-pace play is when you do something...
He's going to drop and kill this guy.
Exactly.
What is this?
They're not expecting it.
Oh my god, Benja. Even if he dies and gets traded, which he does, it doesn't matter. That's your Echo you've just taken down. That's one of the main win conditions for the plan.
Yeah,
this is
huge.
Oh, it's so pacey, like you said.
Yeah.
Genius.
I actually love that the other members of SSG, they didn't commit to that. That's Benja seeing a gap, no hesitation, making a solo play. We often see teams where like Benja drops, 2 seconds goes by, everyone else stops dropping afterwards, and it falls apart. This is a, hey guys, I see an angle, I'm gonna drop, I'm gonna get 1 kill, that's fine. As you said, Echo is dead. So these off-pace plays, 2 of them from Benja, massive success. Minute 15, the only thing to stop you from planting, go your fire, that's gone with these 2 grenades. Then you got 3 toxic babes. You have time to plan right now default. You can do a completely normal and safe take. VP can't just sit back and touch utility. The problem, they gotta start taking gunfights.
Oh, this is beautiful. And when it comes down to it as well, SSD can go for that execute while executing with players dropping down these hatches, going for plays. And VP is sitting there shaking their boots thinking, are they going to push now? Are they going to wait till the last 15 seconds? When are we just going to see someone randomly drop or sprint down a staircase? You just don't know with this SSG roster.
There actually was one Goyo canister that wasn't popped by the grenade, so now time has changed. It's going to be about 20 seconds left on the clock when the fire goes away. 2 toxic babes now, so maybe Virtus.pro can deny this and force SSG to drop the hatch and go for more aggressive play instead.
Yeah, this is awkward. Full to be called upon to look for an early kill. However, he is taken down by Pasha, and now the execute has to come in thick and fast. Aggressive, Ashen drops a hash, traded on back again. It's a 1v1 with 1 HP on Forest. Pasha sees him and gets him. And that definitely should have been SSG's round. VP, counting their lucky stars to have made that work.
It's one of those small things again. The double frag grenade from the Blackbeard was expected to destroy both the Goyo canisters, only got 1 of them. So what happened is they lost about 20-25 seconds value of time, which meant all of a sudden they can't just wait out the toxic babes and plant. They had to go for a deep aggressive play. Full's getting caught on the main staircase as well right before that happened. We see the moment here. That was the moment where the flank was dead from Spacestation. Wait, this right here. That's the solo flank player that got spotted by Yellow Ping. All the 3 other people were either on the hatch or on server side alone. So a small kill like that all of a sudden turns the tide for the defense.
And you know what?
What?
Wait, Twitch was banned on the first map, wasn't it?
Twitch was banned for the first map.
For some reason, my brain lagged and I thought Twitch was banned here. And I was like, wow, they really got screwed by not being able to deal with those Goyo canisters. Maybe we will see a Twitch eventually if we go back down to that basement, because I do feel like a Twitch pick could have made that round completely different. You take down those Goyo canisters early, like you said, missed frag grenades, and it's a completely different conversation. That execute would have worked for SSG.
You're completely right. The only thing that goes against that is what we talk about with the Ashe. It takes away the flexibility of the attacking lineup because you're picking a Twitch to deal with a Goyo, which is a 1-for-1 trade, but you can also pick... Okay, let's say Mira wasn't banned, they had Mira and Goyo, which is phenomenal now. But with Mira being gone, there's a sole purpose, and that's not flexible enough for SSG in that round, so they didn't opt to go for it. But a good point nonetheless. Now they're bringing a glass, which I'm a huge glass enjoyer personally. I think it's hard to make work. I think there's a high lot of skill, coordination involved with it. Kind of like the Monty, your entire team kind of needs to buy into the glass playstyle around the smoke grenades. EMP fire falls up, that way they can't bend the trick, but then gets a pick onto Ashen. I think it was on Repel on the side windows. Yeah, he was on CO window Repel. So that's another huge pick there for VP to start things off.
There haven't been a lot of first kills in the series for VP, only 2 on Chalet. SSG set the pace in most of these rounds. So VP finding that early pick is of huge advantage. Ashen also very prominent, aggressive player here. One you want to take down early. But still, we've got that Glaz, we've got that Capital. These are the big instrumental operators for that late round. Pasha's spotted and taken down from above on the skylight. That's a big kill.
Can get a little bit awkward though now because Capital can't afford to die until you use utility. IQ, you can probably risk it, but Yoga drones will be hard to find. Leaving kind of falls on Heartbreach as the main injury, but he gets 2 kills. One on Sky, one on Window Repel, watching the jump out. Ashen said, never. Never. So now, getting those picks back, VP forcing an uncomfortable position. They lost lobby control, they have side window repel, fires go out, smoke goes out. All we need now is to see the glass of J&O being activated on the staircase to attack the bomb site directly.
Yeah, it's not a good look from 5v4 now to 3v4.
What's happening?
Shepard is finding something. I think that was an aggressive peek with the scope on the Echo. Look at this, the Spider-Man repel takes down Dan, and once again, Virtus.pro are punished for overcomplicating things. They had an advantage, and they just give it away.
This is a very puzzling round because it hasn't made a lot of sense, but I respect that VP are trying to fight back, not giving SSG the bombs that execute, but now it's come back to bite them, because now you see the glass, you see the smokes coming out, 1 fire left from fucking Kowtow, 1 smoke as well, and they have no way to stop J&O once he enters the building. They got 20 seconds, so they gotta go very soon, and they gotta go fast.
It's got to pack a punch with this DMR, does J&O. Shepard still has Yokais in the field to work with and deny this plant in the late round. That's why he's going to tuck himself underneath this table and sprint on through with that drone. He's going to get stuck. He needs to deny this plant. He's got to get to it in time. And he does! No! Forrest can't reattempt. He tries, but he now has to stick it. Fault is there with the cover. The plant's got to be denied. And Shepard finds the clutch for VP. Another round that SSG looked to have won, that VP thieved away.
It's way too close. the drifting drone hitting the couch, getting stuck on the chassis. Bellamy sees the smoke, gambles the 50-50 position, denies the timer, and with 0.014 seconds, there's no time left at all. SSG, they start reattempting the plant to go down. There was about 2 seconds left, I think, when the planter died. It was so close, actually, from actually working out.
Dude, VP fans are going to have to get their hearts checked after this game. Way too many stressful moments.
I haven't seen a Yokai 0-second win in a while, but there was a meta back when the Yokai drones were invisible that we saw like 0-second plant denies all the time. It's the most unsatisfying way to win, and it's the most brutal way to lose because you're just losing to a silly drone in the corner of the roof.
I don't agree with the unsatisfying part. I think it's such a satisfying way to win. Like, you clutch, you sneak your drone in there. Maybe if you have to move it to get it in there, it's satisfying. But if it's just sitting on the ceiling invisible, that's a little bit.
It's more so that
a little bit cringe.
You basically, you know, you've lost a round and you played it horribly, but you won on time. It's like that kind of. It's like, guys, we kind of lost it because I remember Fabian and like back in Penta 2, we'd win a round with Echo. Fabian goes, guys, we lost that round. I know we got the point, we lost it. We didn't play good enough. It's like, sorry, I guess. Good job, Goga, by the way, for using Yokai.
The good old days of CCI plant Goga.
Yep. Nowadays, we got SSG trying to stick it down against all the odds, and actually VP, I mean, maybe Laxton called it correctly, VP are a defense team, because this is Bank, it's difficult, and they're actually fighting back. It was scrappy, it was messy, it's a bit confusing the previous round, but they did make it work in the end. They had those Joker doors as well to boot. Good entry, shot down, and proning doors to before.
That's 2 rounds in a row now. Ashen's lost his life early. 2 first picks in a row for VP. SSG have been the favored team in most of these rounds, yet they still haven't found a round on the board. We already talked about this. SSG should be expecting a 4-2 split on their attacking half, and it's looking nothing of the sort. I'm starting to get deja vu of map 1, but with the team names swapped the other way around.
Yeah. I'm surprised that SSG are having such a hard time entering the building, because it doesn't seem like the team is having a hard time. I mean, Ben's been here for a while, but where's the follow-up? Like, if one guy is in, surely everyone can get in and start getting stuff done. Now they got to that point. There's soft destruction they can do, but there's a small change that happened in the most recent patch, mid-season patch that is. Buck has lost the heart-breaching gadget, which massively decreases his value in maps like Bank. He can't do self-destruction and get the hatches. That's why J9O now is on the Hibana. He's gonna open up the hatches, and he's gonna go down maybe square Scala stairs, get the quad wall if they want right here, where Dan is playing. They got options. They got time to work with, but because they've lost one player already, they want to try and fish for a kill first, perhaps.
This is a great move from Benja, but always reads him. There's no horizontal pressure, so always is able to take that fight and finish off the buck. Now that the ace has come through, always is swinging for more. He might even get another one here. He's peeking aggressively through electrical. A 3K on the round. SSG have been picked to pieces. J9O desperately looking for something, hoping the swing's gonna come through, but guess what? Always can vacate, runs straight outside. Pasha finds the final kill. It's a perfect round for the Russians.
The ego on that man. Now, like, every single swing that he did, complete ego swing.
Yeah, he's earned it, man. He's farming.
I mean, he was popping off on Chalet. He was like the only guy like really fighting back.
He hit 11 kills, almost top-fragged the server.
Yeah, and it's okay. VP, they look quiet. They look kind of like super picked apart on Chalet. Do they have that fight in them? Well, always does. He is literally solo fighting the entire team. Joystick also getting that one pick, immediately falling back down the hatch. They are cutting their losses in a way that, okay, we got our pick, we got our wanted. Let's not, you know, try and be greedy for more. Let's just fall back. And that always happens, but, you know, he wins.
Well, now we get to test SSG. How are they going to deal with this Goyo in the late round? Because they had such an explosive start to this basement attack in the very first round of this map. And yet, time whittled away, and they fluffed it because of that Vulcan fire. Well, they've got the Twitch now. They've got the Kali as well, which is something a little bit different. Okay, that's going to be switched off of. The Twitch, however, is stuck.
So good here. Tuberao, Kaid, Goyo, like, that now it becomes a matter of you have so much value potential that Twitch is the flex operator. Because by playing Twitch, you can replace like 2 other attackers, like EMPs and like heart breaching, for example.
Yeah, but the thing is, Twitch is not a surefire, right? Like, you know, if you're tossing an EMP, you're gonna get that Electroclaw. When you pick the Twitch, there's no guarantee you get anything.
Nope. That's the gamble that you risk, but it's one of those, like, a lot of Siege Pro League is about numbers, like risk assessment. In this particular instance, it is worth risking the Twitch because of potential value and being like, oh, I mean, we could just play EMPs because that can also be messed up with Tuberao Kai combination. And I like that they double down. They play Twitch and Maverick. So if Twitch doesn't work, they can Maverick the hatches. But in case Twitch does work, Maverick's just like a free roaming gun with flashbangs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good backup. And then you got Hibana, because why not, right? The only thing you see they don't possess right now is what I call like bombs that execute. There's no Ying, there's no Glass, there's no Capital Grim. They don't have that, okay, we've reached the bombs at 5v5, how do we break it apart? 2 Goyos? Is there a third to be found? Max value right there.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yep.
And if he can hide it in there for a little bit longer, he might be able to get a little bit more value. There are ADSs to clear as well.
He's got a second Twitch drone. Just throw the second one in. Go again. Timer's also looking pretty good, like pacing is a big thing. That's a bit of a whiff. But pacing is good, 1 minute 30 seconds. The only thing they haven't accomplished yet is server control, where Dan was playing aggressively earlier, but he's actually now falling back to the A bomb side. So VP might have, they're also sacrificing Garage control. They're not watching this.
Oh no.
They're giving it for free.
That's not good for Shepard. Big kill there for Ash and unlocks Garage. And I'm starting to think that VP might have let this round go astray. SG in a great position. A decent cross there from Pasha. He has to contest this, and he uses the Tuberau to try and enable himself a little bit of aggression. I'm not sure he's going to be able to achieve much, though. He has the DMR to take this kind of a fight, but it's so risky to make an aggressive play out there. Joystick's gone down too. Benja playing on the stairs here, just waiting, and a player above. This is impossible now for Pasha, who's finished off, and an execute might not even be necessary. VP have been picked to pieces before it even begins.
Yeah, they're choosing fighting instead of waiting it out, and I gotta say, SG, while this is happening, they've gone lobby, they've gone elevator, they popped up every single hatch. They're just gonna attack the most of everyone at once. One spin goes wrong.
Retake.
Might be possible.
Oh wow, this is dangerous. He's gonna try and retake from elevator. Poor Dan is all the way trapped in gold. What? Forrest is prone peeking him? Now it's up to Always to try and have a flank. He almost gets that planter. Now all three of these players are lit. SMG11 packs a serious punch. This might just be winnable, but he has to play it perfectly, and Ashen isn't gonna give him a chance. SSG, they got something to look for now. Finally conjured up around.
Yeah, I gotta say, VP wouldn't typically start lashing out looking for those kills, but I think they realized that strategically, they had nothing going for them. They gave up server without any value. They lost garage control by losing a player, the Kaid. They were forced to take the desperate fights because strategically, they can't get out of the plant. All the goal fights were popped by the Twitch earlier. So, what do you have left? You have 50-50 gunfights, which aren't really 50-50 because you're not even looking the right way right there. Joystick checks the stairs. Oh, it's clear. I'm gonna check their size. Forest prone peaks. These are very uncommon gunfights to have to take in very unconventional ways. SG, they make it work. They're still down 1-3 in round count. It's not pretty, but it's the start of something good. And the big thing here is, of course, the first 3 rounds, that's your primary first rotation. Get a feel for how your opponent's gonna play it, how they're defending it, what the setups are like. The second rotation is what we're watching right now, the final 3 attacking rounds. SSG now have information on what their expectations are from Virtus.pro, and they can make those small micro adjustments which can have massive positive impact. Like last time on CO attack, they never got to execute. They were just kind of going in heaven, they were on the window rappels, and they never walked up a staircase and took map control. They might change that this time around. They got the Blackbeard, for example. Also got Sophia. I'm not sure what that's going to be used for, but they can at least do a cast the barricades if not for the Ivana. We'll see.
One thing I do love about SSG is they always seem to have someone in the building in the first 20 seconds of the round. It's got to be pre-placed drones. I'm not seeing them in the prep phase sneak in, but it enables that early aggression. Sometimes it'll catch off a player, and if not, it just sets the tone. Makes sure that these players aren't just sitting outside the building or spending the first minute wasting time outside, which we do see pretty often.
So I'm trying to think what Sophia could be used for, and there is actually a strat. I think it was G2 or FaZe that started doing this first, where you send a blitz in Janitor, and you can Sophia stun from CEO or Repel, and just like increase the odds of you win the gunfight. Blackbeard isn't quite a blitz, but fundamentally he works in a very similar way. Right now, Sophia just doing the good old, let's open up every window, every door, use all our utility, and then go for a take. But the issue is there's a Kaiko on the wall, and they don't have a Twitch, there's no Zero, they don't even have any frag grenades. You have EMP on Asher and Capital, but he's on the wrong side of the map, he's inside of ATMs. So you gotta start getting in the building now, figure out where the Kaiko is, or just say too bad we can't get the wall entirely.
The drone work is starting to suss things out for SSG. Meanwhile, J90 has snuck into lobby, but he's worried about this lurk. If he goes too early, he's not going to find anything. Forrest rebels straight on inside with that Blackbeard and the aid of the Capital Fire. Pasha takes his head clean off and swings onto Ashen as well. Genino eventually does trade, but this is not enough for SSG. We need more, and Benja could be that player, but the Dread Mine forces him back down again.
I don't know about this. I mean, there's no clear take, there's no clear direction from SSG right now, and that's not like them. Falls with diffuser on window rappel. 2 guys kind of inside the building, but they don't have any internal drones. They have 4 left in pocket, but none to be used.
Oh, nice shot though from J90. Always has been a terror, and he's put to rest. Benja also still poised on the main stairs, and the rappel comes in from False. He's got diffuser in pocket, but Joystick wins his fight. Over on the main stairs, it's just J90 now. 1v3. as he can pick that diffuser back up. All these 3 players are separated. This is very winnable, but the Yokai isn't going to make it easy for him. Shepard is harassing him. He's got no audio. He's barely got vision as he tries to dance around and find something, but he's not given an opportunity. Dan swings him, and Pasha is fired up. VP have found their form.
Finally.
Took him long enough.
It did take them long enough. Pasha is such a funny guy, though. Very emotional in the best of ways. I think he feels a lot in general, the goods, the bads. I often have good talks with him at the after party about like how the tournament went, how he's doing. He's also very humble. He likes to ask other players for advice. When you're a young player trying to navigate the start of your career, oh my god. He just flicked one tap out of nowhere, off screen by the way, onto a Blackbeard. I guess that's how he got the pick. Sometimes it'd be like that. But for SSG, I saw so much of their vision on Chalet and what they were trying to accomplish on the attacking side. We're not seeing a whole lot of, oh, this makes sense. I think the basement attack, okay, that was very obvious what they were trying to accomplish on both of the times. One, they got kind of messed up by timing. The second one, they ended up winning their only first round. But on those CEO attacks, I'm like, how is that ever going to work? I just don't see it. They're up against an Echo. They bring IQ the first time, don't find the Yokais. They don't bring IQ the second time. They do not find the Yokais at all.
Yeah.
And they had yellow ping information on every single play that they were making from SSG.
Yeah, the first CEO attack looked a lot better than the second one.
It looked a lot better, but it didn't look great.
No.
It's an isolated situation.
To be honest, we haven't seen many great attacks from SSG in this map. Those basement ones look pretty solid. I feel like they've spent a lot of time working out the kinks on basement.
It's also just like, you've been attacking that bomb site in the same few ways for like 7-8 years at this point.
Yeah.
So like, that hasn't changed a whole lot. Because even back in year 1 of Bank, the whole like server into A plant was also a thing.
Yeah.
CEO attack has changed, I would say, quite a lot over the years.
Yeah, especially when the Bank rework came out, that completely changed that.
Yeah. Can we call it a rework or a mini
buff?
Yeah,
the buff thing. Yeah.
I know that's a hot topic right now because they
True.
changed the map all that much. But it was Coast
Yeah.
Bank and Border that got that triple trifecta change.
Yeah.
And it was like a bunch
yeah.
of quality of life upgrades. It was great.
Yeah.
We need more of that, I think, actually.
I would love that. I think, you know, the OG Clubhouse rework?
Yeah.
That, I think, is one of my favorite reworks ever.
No, I think it's the most impactful in a positive rework.
Absolutely.
It kept the identity the same. It fixed almost all the flaws of the map. Bar was still not that playable. Then they mini reworked Clubhouse Bar.
True, they mini reworked it
playable.
again.
Yeah. So I think Clubhouse has had like by far the most success with 2 changes, both for the better, and it's a very iconic and unique map.
Yeah, and one of the best maps in the game.
I
very
think it's my
unique.
favorite.
Yeah.
With Old Consulate.
Oh, I like Old Consulate. New Consulate is okay. But there's something about Old Consulate, like the yellow stairs holes of the smoke player dancing in and out, people juggling ADSs.
How you played Meeting and Meeting Balcony on both attack and
iconic.
defense.
I will say though, like that map was horrendous sometimes. Like
When they
playing it
changed
for the
how
2 millionth
repelling
time.
worked and everyone could repel upside down, that map became like low-key unplayable. But I will say, it had a unique character. It was a unique map in general, and I think that kind of got taken away with the rework, where it feels more like other maps in a way.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
mean,
that's what I want more of. I want unique maps, and that's where I feel like Clubhouse still stands out.
yeah.
I think Theme Park, actually, with the rework that got taken out of Pro Play a year or 2 ago or whatever, I think that map also holds up still. I think that could return to Pro League.
My hot topic is that, my hot take
Oh,
is
hot
that
topic.
I always liked Theme Park, like since rework.
Same.
Yeah, not popular though, particularly because it's just so defender-sided.
It's hard.
But I reckon you could give that a really mini buff and just add a little bit more verticality.
Okay.
Completely changes the map, right? Because like most of the 3 main bomb sites have very little verticality, particularly the top floor ones. You can't really play from below. As soon as you can play from below and attack bunks, I think it suddenly changes how easy it is to attack that map. Or just make it a little bit more comfortable, some of those areas on the external parts of the map. Yeah, I love that
I think
one.
that's fair.
Anyway, that was a nice little side topic to talk about maps while that technical pause went on. I bet no one even noticed.
I was like, I didn't even notice at first. Because, like,
You didn't even notice?
They started the run, I was like, oh, they stopped the run, I guess we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. And we are back on basement nonetheless, and this is where we praised SSG for their attacks did make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting some more success here. And you see VP, they know what they want to play into. Plant deny, time waste. The only issue I have with this is purely playing Goyo, Echo, Smoke, and then having 0 roam presence with a soft hatch.
They know about it as well. Like,
yeah.
They have the read on here. Like, that's the big difference. SG in the first round, they're sprinting in, they're going for drops. VP had no idea about it.
Yeah.
Now, you notice 30 seconds into the round, VP have forfeited open area, but they're still pre-firing up the hatch because they know that SG are likely going for an early push.
But let's say they played open area, killed a few...
Oh, no, bro. That's embarrassing.
They killed a few drones, then ran back to bomb site. You wasted an extra 20, 30, 40 seconds. Now it's SSG with full map control with 2 full minutes to spare. Sure, they don't have a Twitch this time for the Goyo canisters, but they have saved the time with a quick roam clear, the same as the Twitch would give you by popping the Goyo canisters early. So I feel like, again, we're back to...
Oh, nice joystick.
That's unlucky.
I think that's a skill issue personally.
Now I think it's fair game. Now I think it's like VP might have this. You know, that's a huge pick, and Maverick going down as well. Of course, you said if you Bana pellets all the hatches, but SST might need to now go for some of those funky hatch drop scenarios.
You need numbers on basement execute.
You do.
Even if you want to play an explosive execute, like ideally you need 1 person planting, 1 person covering the planter, 1 person dropping, and usually a little bit of redundancy. You need some flank watch. Maybe you want a 2nd person covering the plant or a 2nd person dropping.
Ooh,
this is also really awkward too because the Kiba barriers have made
Garage. You need to punch them first.
Yeah, and there's barbed wire as well to clear.
It's genius. This is like purely a nuke counter because you have the proof of camera, but it doesn't see this.
He spots his foot.
Yeah.
He's got to win this fight. Ashen, you got to win this. Still, Pasha survives a little bit longer, but Benja down the stairs. I don't know how he's managed to get into this position. One of those keeper barriers actually worked against VP. And now there is a chance. However, Dan threads the needle right between Benja's eyes. Ashen alone in garage, Janano up above. And there's very little chance of making this one work for SSG.
It's tough. They got the Yokai drones. I mean, that's been the saving grace of Bank. Maybe the amount of intel that Virtus.pro can work with. It's been phenomenal so far. And they've been so accurate, like we know where the players are. Let's not swing, just hold the crossfires, 20 seconds. They need to come to us. And if they get bombs on control, again, Echo drones, look at this. They can't plant.
Yeah. There's nothing gear in it for Genero. He's taken down the Yokai drone, but it's a 1v4. He's got to bait out a few shots, finds one. Magazine is simply not big enough for this. He's still gonna give it a go. Goes for another one, finds a 2nd kill. Joystick puts him down.
Good half.
Finally, that's the energy that we've been needing from VP. 5-1 in the half. This really is a repeat of map 1 with the teams switched around.
So puzzling. 5 rounds on defense Bank. Are we back in like 2017 or something? Like, this has been a while.
Yeah, man, not a good look for SSG. They were flying on Chalet.
But I do feel like SSG, to me, they've always been what I call a defense team. I think the way they play...
What happened with the ball? We didn't see that at all.
That explains how far he started, I guess.
That's how half the... Yeah, I guess that was the idea of the push. They took garage control. They had someone go down main stairs. A very split up push because there was still a guy server, and yet this blitz is trying to make things happen. But not only is the Yokai ready for it, but also the impact grenades. That's awkward.
Yeah, Echo drones actually make life completely unplayable for shield operators. Blackbeard blades, medics, Monty, I was gonna say.
Medics. Shout out to Medics, our observer, by the way.
Yeah.
He rocked up really late last night.
Yeah, I saw.
Flew in from Croatia. I spoke to him for about 2 seconds getting a coffee today.
Nice.
So he's had a big trip, but lovely to get the Croatian sensation back on the obsticks. We've actually got quite a few observers here. I believe there's 5 observers.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, he did say she. I did. I wish we could get the observer mic live to stream sometimes.
A little try-catch at the observer.
I'd love.
What do you think's gonna happen next, Mr. Observer? No, it's but I think SSG has always been, in my mind, like a defender team, even back in like Troy era, where they like to set up these obstacles for attackers to solve, whether it's utilities like the SSG Clubhouse Space Room, like Castle Breakers, Gemas Mossy Pest, or it's like a very complicated roam game where they're like running around a lot. This one here at Benja is playing Victor to the corner. They don't know exactly where he is. The scanner runs out, he's forcing out his position, can bait the impact back to the corner, and again, will have to re-drone. If he wants to, he could stand out that window, go for 1-for-1 trade. If not, stick around and just waste more time. He's doing such a good job here. 6 drone shot already.
But he's in a crossfire from so many different directions.
Again.
This is a nice way to try and escape,
He lives.
though. Yeah, I like the usage of that impact grenade.
It's also getting Deimos tracked the entire time, by the way.
Yeah.
The Vigil scanner cloaks it. So Deimos doesn't work just for the Vigil, but Vigil is the only target that you could track because he's the sole roamer top floor. So again, SSG is showing us that they know strategically how this plays out, and they are so prepared for this.
Benja eventually does go down. Wow,
He's an
all the way
ATM.
into ATMs? What's he doing, man? Come on, cut your losses.
Nah, not happening.
Nah, that's not how this team works, apparently.
So, just for comparison, SSG had full map control with 1 minute into the round, so 2 minutes left. Virtus.pro are barely inside the top floor with 1 minute left in the round. The only issue for Jaina Nova for SSG, they need to actually get back to the bomb set now without just falling apart. Otherwise, the kills will make the difference in time lost, and BP will be fine. They're gonna advance forward. He's Deimos tracked, man. You said they know he's here.
Surely gonna die.
Yep, you called it perfectly. And this one, I'm like, again, cut your losses. Drop down that hatch, take the 4v5, it's fine. Now
Oh,
it's
the
2 versus
flashbang
4.
is perfect. Always can just waltz on inside. A flank from Fultz as he retakes upstairs, but he's gonna have to drop. And I mean, he's spotted from top square. There's nothing for it. Doesn't matter how fast or slow you are. SSG have absolutely nothing. Not a single kill has gone out on the basement where that bomb site is. And now Forrest is all alone up against 5 angry Russians marching towards him. An injure on the joystick. It's simply not going to be enough. Always locks it in. All right, these guys are well and truly fired up. SSG, I don't know what you did, but you woke up the bear, and now they've come out to play.
Yeah, so much more life in them. Celebrating around victories. Not saying I'm seeing any smiles, you said, from VP. It's doing that, right?
I don't think they're capable of smiling.
No, see, this is where you're wrong. There's been 2 isolated instances where Shepard smiled in the player cams, and they were hopping off when that happened.
Did that make the newspaper, like the front
It
page?
made Reddit, it made like all the news channels, the casters on the desk spoke about it. I think they screen capped it and it brought up like on the segment at some point. It's like when you see Shepard smiling, you know it's over.
This just in, Shepard smiled. All right, tactical timeout. What's call out saying to the boys?
Top 4 did the same shit. I want us to actually fight before the initial point of entry. Start flattening when I was getting fucking naked with these guys with it. Like make something like break the round. Yeah, break the round and Dallas fucking lose map, so be it. We got another one coming up, so let's just learn.
He's like whispering.
I'm trying my best to try and hear
He's
him,
very
but
quiet.
I have a feeling it's deliberate. Are they?
Yeah, I
trying
know.
To, is it deliberate to us, or is he trying not to be audible to the other
He's like,
team?
these guys think they're so slick and they can hear us. If they stop talking, I'm gonna go quiet now.
It's all right. Surely production will just bump up the volume.
Surely. Put the camera closer.
My favorite thing is hearing the player comms in the tactical timeout. It's so fascinating. I remember the first time we did it, SI 2023, 2 years ago. And so many iconic moments we got as a result. I remember Mr. Officer scolding Noodles, Fabian, yeah, you know, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he absolutely rinsed G2 when they were playing terribly. They went on to win the bloody event after that.
Yeah, that was the turning point, basically. Yeah. I think they took 5 rounds straight against FaZe when that happened, and it brought it back.
I think they only lost maybe 1 map for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, they were going flawless almost. It was unreal, and I would love a world where you can have listen-ins. Let's say once per half, each team gets listen-in. Like 20 seconds left, base and bank, execute. I want to hear HGD's comms as they're breaking that apart, because that is lovely to my ears. The strats.
Yeah. Well, I don't know exactly what call-out said. Maybe you guys got a chance to listen to it better than me.
I heard a break apart the round, which I don't know what that means.
Especially on the defensive side, right? Like,
right.
That makes sense on an attacking perspective.
It could be to disrupt what VP wants to accomplish, which again, like
don't
the
let
roam
them
game.
execute.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Break it apart before it happens.
The thing is, I feel like SSG were trying to force the issue too much in that previous round. They were trying to not let it get to an execute, and as a result, VP had to do very little to achieve a lot.
But maybe this is the thing. Maybe it's reversed, because when he said cut your losses on Chalet, they didn't cut their losses. When he's saying break apart the round, stop breaking apart the round. It's reverse psychology for the listeners.
Is it opposite day?
It's opposite day.
I didn't get the memo, but maybe it's opposite day. It would explain a lot.
Let's see if they can make it work, though. I mean, they're not flying out the windows yet. Oh, that's my bad.
Nicholas Moritzen, what have you done to him? You say it's not going to happen, and then exactly in that instant...
That was incredible timing.
That timing could not have been better. That's Siege timing, if I've ever seen it. SSG flying out windows, it's not beneficial to them. A trade does not leave the Americans better off. And now Joystick's found another one. Ashen has been taken down. J9 is trying to find this fight against Shepard on that blitz. Foltz is retaken up onto top square. Oh, nice shot there from J9 onto Pasha. I don't know how you win that fight, but suddenly it's all up to J9 against Joystick and Shepard for the map. The blitz waiting out the Warden's glasses. He's gonna have to reactivate it again, and there's the blitz. And that is Shepard. Crack a smile for us, baby. The bear is awake, and it is hungry for map 3.
Such a better... What a surprise! I mean, a 7-1 victory for VP after a massively disappointing lack of energy, no adaptability Chalet. It sets this up for a perfect third mapper. The second one of the day, sadly, because the other B-stream had a game earlier. We're not going to spawn anything, but I thought today and this match would have been the first. Either I'm just happy that we're going to go distance and have a competitive match here.
Fantastic reply from Virtus.pro after getting 7-2 on the first map. 7-1 is the score on Bank, and we'll have to settle it on Cafe.
Might have been hibernating, but I tell you what, they're hungry and they are dangerous now. Map 2 was absolutely domination from Virtus.pro. Something that going into it, we had a lot of questions around what they were going to be able to do, how they're going to be able to bounce back. One thing is for sure, folks, SSG, boy, do they hit the highest of highs. And boy, do they reach the lowest of lows sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, we highlighted it before. We saw the same old SSG from the NAL. One day they show up. Yeah. Map 1, they showed up. And then the next day, Map 2, it happened all in one day this time. That was the biggest issue with SSG. They just couldn't get the opening kills enough. They couldn't make Virtus.pro move, especially on the map of Bank. I think that's really where it faltered them because Chalet is a lot more close quarters, claustrophobic. VP have to move. But on a map like Bank, they were very comfortable. And there was no moments where SSG was forcing them to move, and when they didn't get those opening picks, they couldn't play the objective game the way they wanted to.
Yeah, and realistically, you also have to give VP their credit. I mean, the way that they were playing, to immediately bounce back, wipe that first game off, is just, you know what, we know we did wrong, we know we have to go into this Bank and play the way that we need to. And like I said, them starting on that defense, I wanted to see them get rounds. I wanted to see them find that success that they just couldn't get on that Chalet side of defense. And then sure enough, we see that get displayed beautifully on their defensive half, go into attack, end the game on a 7-1. I mean, this is the exact VP that we wanted to see going into this map.
I will say, in the areas that we wanted VP to turn up, which is take the fight to SSG, we didn't see that aggressive Virtus.pro. They still played very slow, stuck to the game plan, and that's what carried them out.
I will say, I know we didn't see the whole team get aggressive, but always was a player that we 100%, and especially for their IGL, to be able to get aggressive, to be able to make a lot of these plays, make a lot of headway, create spacing, take these gunfights in these defensive rounds, and just pick apart SSG. I mean, you got to give him his flowers. And again, being the IGL in some of these rounds, on these attacking rounds, setting up your team and also getting the job done and putting yourself in these positions always was a pivotal factor for VP of finding the success that they have been finding so far.
And a lot of these situations that he found himself in were just based off of the objective. Either he's holding down the site, he gets a pick, and he flurries with more picks, more aggression, or he's on attack, he's playing his pinpoint position, and he's able to shut down the SSG over aggression. So once he was able to make something happen, he capitalized off of it with the aggression. The rest of the team from Virtus.pro, they know that the system works. It didn't work on Chalet, but it worked on Bank.
Momentum is a big thing in any kind of game, but has it swung a little too heavily now?
I mean, I think you look at both maps. Both teams won their respective maps. Now you're going to go to a cafe. And again, same thing for SSG. Sure, they lost 7-1. It doesn't look good. It's not pretty. But this is still a roster that we've seen them time and time again. They pick themselves right back up and immediately bounce back into the next matchup. And again, I said this was most likely going to go to a best of 3. And the biggest thing now is both teams are going to have to understand their play style and what they're doing wrong and how they can counteract one another and through going into the last map.
You ready for a third map?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's not the situation that we expected going into it. We both said Virtus.pro would be able to take that third map, but I really do think this is the best outcome for both teams. It'll be a really good even playing field.
Well, hopefully it's an even playing field. We don't see what we've just seen in the first two maps. Hopefully they both come with their A game. We head to Cafe after this short break.
Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
SSG shot into the stratosphere in map 1, but boy did they come plummeting back to earth in reality real quick in map 2. As we head to Cafe, the conversation hopefully changes to something where it's completely even playing fields here, Lax. But, I mean, is that going to be the case?
I think it is going to be a little bit of an even playing field because even when you look back at this, in Montreal, these two did meet in round 3 of phase 2 where VP would inevitably beat them 7-5. So it was still a close game. Obviously, these first 2 matchups haven't been close with a 7-2, 7-1. So either it's going to be a 7-0 or a 7-3. We don't know. But I do still expect this to be a close map. And just for the simple fact, both these teams understand what they need to do. They understand what they were doing wrong. Now you need to finish here and execute it here going into Cafe.
I think it'll be a lot closer because both aspects that the respective teams won on their maps are still pivotal when it comes to Cafe. I don't think Virtus.pro is going to change too much to their strategy. They're going to play slow. They're going to play methodical. They're going to wait for SSG to mess up. Now, Cafe is a smaller map than Bank was. Yeah. It's smaller in the sense of Chalet, where it will be a little bit more claustrophobic. It is defender-sided, but you still have to be proactive on your defenses. So I think SSG will be able to find more opening kills, be a lot more impactful on getting inside the map, and I think that's where you're going to see it even out against both teams.
And then to go against that, like you were saying, that's going to be in favor of SSG. If VP is learning from what happened on Chalet, where they could have taken advantage of some of these players and just coordinating together, being faster, being together better, this map should reinforce that of how claustrophobic it's going to be. They should be able to play those trade games. They shouldn't let SSG walk away with so many opening kills. So for that alone, I can expect both these teams really to come out here swinging and try to close this out.
Very quickly. Who takes this?
I'm just going to have to say VP just for the 7-1.
I think it's a battle of who's going to win most attacks on this map. I think Virtus.pro is a little bit more consistent right now. I'm going to give it to them.
All right, well, usually we go for something fun and crazy.
At least you know we're not biased.
Okay, there's no bias over here, but maybe there is on the casting desk.
So VP's going to win this one. We can pack it on up. Forget about it, Americans. It's Jova.
Hold up. I, as the actual EU shield, have to go and say, SSG, this is a map, Cafe. They're much closer together.
Why are you shilling for NA, dude?
When they're closer together, they get more stuff done. Their fans are going with EU. The desk is going with EU. You have gone against me as well, but I will stand as the last NA fan and say, SSG got this.
I can't believe this. You can take Pengu out of the NAL, but you can't take the NAL out of Pengu, apparently. Look, map 3, it's a rematch. We're going back to Cafe. We saw these guys meet here in Montreal, and it was a tight 7-5 victory for VP. SSG fell asleep on map number 2. As Rob said, they really got a reality check, came back down to earth, but I think they can steer this ship back up again. I do think there is a chance in it for SSG. Great Cafe team. This is a map both teams love and have played aplenty, but we'll see if SSG is able to recompose. Did they get rattled after map 2? Because they were the ones doing the rattling on Chalet.
SSG starting on defense, banning out the Monty. It's very interesting to me because last I checked, the VP don't play shields, and SSG, they do. And they're known to it. No, they probably like Black People Blitz more than the Monty, but I feel like, again, the operative ban of the Montaigne is catching me by surprise. There's 2 maps now to happen, but regardless, Castle follows up. There's going to be Piano how to defend, of course. The big question now, Valkyrie, Asami, Mira, Maestro, so many good defenders left on the table. Kaid, actually. We do see Kai being banned out sometimes on Cafe because you don't want to deal with like bringing EMPs or Thatcher or Maverick, but it's such a rare sight that it usually just goes through that operator ban phase untouched.
Yeah, the only operator similar to when these teams last played on Cafe in the ban phase is the Monty. Last time SSG banned the Nomad and the Warden, and VP for defense banned the Azami instead of that Castle. So quite a bit of a flip here. We do have Azami on the board. We do have Mira back in as well. So a lot of really strong power position anchor operators on the board. It's the second time we've seen a Nomad ban on Cafe today as well. Sorry. I'm getting confused with the previous time. We saw a Nomad ban earlier today. Now we're seeing the Grim ban, which is usually good at clearing those power positions. So I feel like this is going to be a pretty power position-centric kind of game.
What I like about SSG when they play more compact maps, like something like, let's say, a Clubhouse or a Cafe, is that they are such a good team at just building a maze of things to navigate for the attackers, whether it's utility or ADSs or long lines of sight. They have so many different win conditions in a given round, and this first one is exactly that. They have Clash, which they're hiding in the drone phase, so VP should have little to no info about it. They're playing Mute and Mossy for drone deny for that active intel. Then they're playing Asami and Piano, nothing like Snorm, but they're pairing it with the Clash, with the Mute Jammers, with the Wamaites to make like Piano a pretty much impossible fortress to control over if you're Virtus.pro. So we gotta see how they can problem solve. Benji goes punished. I think he was trying to go for a spawn beacon CEO or in cocktail window. He was, yeah. So that's not a good start.
No. It is funny though, as we were talking about, this is an operator veto that really does lend itself to the defense playing power positions.
Yeah.
And yet, Virtus.pro have a read on SSG where they're going to run double flank watch. We got Gridlock and Nomad. So they're expecting SSG to play a very spry game. And that is what we would expect, because that's how SSG love to play.
Yeah.
So SSG aren't leaning into what is conventionally powerful here with this veto. They have decided to go for a bit more of a loosey-goosey lineup. A lot of these are fraggers, and then guided by that clash, no Mira, and the Azami is taken down from this upside-down rappel. Jano caught out.
This is the thing, with how they're playing this setup in prep phase, I would expect Benji and Janano to both be passive players. One went for a spawn peek, one ego turns the window rappel. Where it's like, you got the clash, you have cigar control, you have the medium and the mossy pass. None of that has come into active play yet, and the round might already be over if VP they keep this up. So I feel like this is again SSG not really playing their strat to its full effect.
Oh, dude.
Now we're just dancing between the rotates, and what are we expecting to happen right now? Okay, to 2v5, they run the chalk, do some crazy things, but how we got here is where I have a problem with the playstyle.
That's it. Round is over already for SSG unless we see some serious heroics. But with that clash, there's not a lot that you can do on the defensive side. SMG for SSG, now in hand for Forest as he puts that shield on his back. Good night. Beautiful shot from Dan. All up to Forest now in a 1v5. The plant's going down, and he's just a dead man walking. A little pre-fire. There's a tickle of damage onto Joystick, but always puts him down. First round, and we're already hearing the bear begin to roar. Great start from VP, untouchable on the attack.
A flawless start. I mean, again, this goes back to map 1 where I'm like, is SSG really good or are VP kind of trolling on Chalet? Now I'm like, is VP really good in that round or is SSG kind of trolling on Cafe? Because, again, this swing, unnecessary. The piano death, in my mind as well, also unnecessary. It could have been that because of playing 4v5, General felt the pressure to make a hero play, took the 50-50, died, but it has this domino effect. Benja messes up, now Jin&O gets desperate. Jin&O messes up, now the rest of the team at 3v5, they also get desperate, and they don't get to play their strat. I want to see SSG put themselves in positions where they can play out a round to its full potential. Whether it's 5v5 bumps and executes, whether it's staying alive and falling back, because this has been the biggest talking point for us since the very beginning. Cut your losses. We said it, technical timeout happened, the coach call-out said it, and we just haven't seen them cutting their losses. They keep fully and arguably over-committing to these plays.
Yeah.
And VP are punishing it now, like they're here.
And look, to SSG's credit, it worked on Chalet.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for the whole series long. That's the thing of a BO3,
Best
you
of
have
threes.
to adapt. And SSG just haven't done that. VP have. And if anything, the more that SSG play this aggressive playstyle, the more that VP can just sit back and relax and wait for the picks to come to them. Think about that last round. VP barely had to do anything except sit on window repels and wait for it to be a 5v2.
You're so right. I do like this, the roam. I think this is necessary. Like, you're playing kitchen and kitchen bomb side, you need some map control, take down the timer, kill some drones, fight for map space. Because if you don't roam, they're gonna full clear it in 20 seconds and you're stuck in the bomb side with no way to win. The only thing is though, if SSG don't find success on the roam by getting ideally a kill or two, their other lineup is extremely fragile for the bomb side. There's no plant deny, there's no time stalling, there's a single C4 on a roaming player top floor. So they need this roam to work, especially if VP are going to contest it, and there's going to be fights happening.
Yeah, very quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
They're just waiting. They want to play this peel back roam. They're not going to try and overcommit. I think that's the intention. Ashen is on the verge of falling
They
back.
have 3 drones left. They have a Jackal, but he's not inside the building yet, so they can't scan the feed seas, so they have little to no intel. And that's why they're waiting, because they need to get Jackal active. He scans 1, that's the Asami, but there's more. There's a Vigil hiding right to the sky with a boss G in hand.
No.
Ooh!
Just
Impact.
barely finds the kill. Ashen doesn't confirm it with that impact nade, though.
Lucky.
Unfortunately, that does mean... Oh, well, okay, Benja is able to find a kill. Joystick's still able to be retrieved. And this is a worthwhile trade for Virtus.pro. They get their squad back up again. They found the kill. Ashen is low, and they've got the ground for it. So even though it was a mess, I think VP should be pretty happy with it. SSG, I believe, still have a Roma, however, hiding in train.
That's why I think this might not be worth it. Look at the timer. 1 minute left. They gotta do verticality first. Okay, Fold's falling back. I think that he feared they had intel on him, but we know, as you know, with the Observer HUD, they didn't actually know. But if Fold sticks around, gets a kill, I think that's completely fine for SSG. Especially if you take down the Sledge, the only vertical operator on the attacking side. But even with that fall back, they're playing 4 versus 4. No C4 in pocket, by the way. And this is like a 50-50. The only thing that I don't think SSG are knowing about, there's a sense in the board for Shepard, who's been hiding this entire time. When those projector walls go south, they can go for a free plant.
Yeah, and the freezer walls have been completely reinforced, so it might not matter that Ashen has VIP control. VP can actually go for an execute now.
Totally. I mean, the only saving grace Jaina knows is aggressive on the bomb side, playing by the bomb chassis. He's now found out, he's now run away. He has to make a play here.
This comes down to these entries from VP.
Good.
But Jaina holds firm. Dan goes down, and here comes the flank from Ashen. There's nothing to be done for it. Jaina farms on the side, and now a desperate plan attempt. There's simply no time for VP. And SSG are back into this game.
Yeah. Let's go mining. Let's go one without capacity.
Does Benja talk, do you think, in this roster?
There. This is the second time you've done this, man. You have to stop. You have to stop.
The cast occurs. I was gonna say, I haven't seen this guy speak a single word so far. And Benja, this is the funny thing about the SSG Benja pickup, is that on so many levels, it makes no sense. But on the flip side, Benja isn't bad in any lineup.
I think that you just look at like a young player that arguably hasn't even hit his peak yet, who happens to be a world champion, who happened to have been dropped from his former roster. Yeah, you pick him up. If you want to spice things up, how can you not pick up a player like Benja?
I do have to say one thing though. I think, and this is not a bad thing, I do think Benja peaked at SI23 when he won with G2 because he was, without a question of doubt, the best player in the world at that event.
Yeah.
I think he was averaging 2 grenade kills from below a round.
Yeah.
The guy didn't lose a single 1v1, didn't lose a single clutch. And it's not that, oh, he's peaked, like he's never going to be good again. He's still a normal player. But having that kind of live performance doesn't happen many times in most people's careers.
Very young to peak. He is not even the youngest player on the roster now. He's 21, and Ashen's actually the 3rd youngest player at the tournament, still just 19 years old.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny, we've had 4 Danish players in Pro League. 2 of them have won an SI. A 3rd went to a Pro League Grand Finals. Zeronic in year 1 season 3 against Playing Dogs versus CTM.
Who's the 4th?
Thompson. He played for Team Barrage in EUL. They went 0-10 for the season, and he went to the military and never came back.
Yeah, right.
Because he just stopped playing.
Yeah, that was a fun time. I remember that Barrage roster.
It was terrible. It was like, I think it was Drid from G-Bots or something, I think, and
there's a guy called Quantic who actually played for what eventually became the IG roster, the Airwolf team. He played for them a very long time ago.
Yeah. He's got some lore from our Observer that he played with Thompson at one point as well. Interesting. Well, there's a small place, but regardless, I was kind of glazed the Danish population here.
Of course
4
you
players,
are.
3 have been to a final, 1 in SI. That's a pretty big deal. And Benja, I would say he hasn't had like a wow, massive best of 3 so far, but he is a quiet killer. Like he's there, he's doing stuff, he's finding value. SSG as a team, same with Virtus.pro actually, they're all about every single person getting value, every single person getting involved. I wouldn't say either of these 2 squads rely on a single soul carrier. And that's a good thing.
Absolutely. We do have 2 world champions in this game. Fultz, obviously, winning SI 2020 with Spacestation.
True.
Benja winning SI 23 with G2.
Also true.
VP yet to find themselves a hammer, despite a lot of these players having played in those grand finals several times, both against TSM in 22 and against G2 in 2019. What is going on here on this upstairs clear? Always backstabs for a double.
What?
That's what we need from them. Benja does find one before being traded back up to Forest. Now, as he slinks back towards the site, trying to isolate these 1v1s, but he's made a hell of a lot of noise, and they should know where he is by now.
I love this in Virtus.pro. They're just letting go of the mouse and keyboard. They're droning, waiting, scouting. 2 out of 3 people actively on drones. They got 40 seconds to work with. And again, Forrest, he's amped up, he's ready for a gunfight. Bleed him out. Making go, okay, what's happening now? Okay, kill another drone. Where are you? I don't know. They got time to work with.
He's been spotted. He's been trapped. And this Blackbeard as well from Shepard, forcing down that plant, the perfect operator to prevent any kind of a reply here. The C4 is an air ball. Now Forrest looking to try and get around this, but Pasha and Joystick have gone above. And here's the Blackbeard on side, just staring him down. Plenty of information to be had. No C4 remaining. Vert enabled from the X-Kairos. It is a devastating position to be in. That's a nice shot there. Shepard goes down, looking for a little bit more. Pasha takes some damage. Shotgun comes out for Forrest. Gonna land a couple of shells, but Pasha's got him. And a cheeky smile on Always face. He knows that this game is hurling towards a swift finish for VP.
Also, it's not very common for you to find those kinds of gaps, and Always the man who was smiling on your camera screen there, he's the one who found it. I think it was on Cocktail Rappel, just went on in, got 2 kills, one before that for a 3K, and it just completely opened the entire round for Virtus.pro.
Dude, Always has been insane today. That makes him over 20 kills in the series so far. Next closest behind him is Faults down at 14. And Pasha, believe it or not, who's managed to really steal things. Let's see what Callout has to say. Hopefully he's not whispering anymore.
He's whispering. Doc, or whatever the fuck it is, just for either a trap up or new C4. Maybe we'll do that, but it wasn't the same shit. So we're gonna do mirror freeze, mirror cocktail, and we're gonna do fucking Yeah. And then you're gonna play. It's gonna be pushed inside the stock.
Okay. So, utility, the mirror windows, the setup, playing a bit more dynamically off it. The dog I heard as well. I think he mentioned they're expecting a sense, and this will kind of deal with it, from what I understood at least. So they're expecting some sort of performance out of Virtus.pro, maybe adapting from the last attack that they did against them at least. But I like the switch up. Bring in the mirror, bring in more utility, playing for more stable map control, and just taking the gunfights.
Like we were talking about a few times.
Shepard smiling. Shepard smiling.
Oh, wow, that is the rare
Breaking
Shepard
news,
smile.
everybody. There it is.
So if I look to my right and I saw Always with that just cheeky smile, that cheeky grin, I couldn't help but laugh as well. So SSG, we've talked about how this entire match, they have been playing so loosely, so aggressively. They're trying to make plays. That's the bread and butter that we know and love from SSG. And it worked so well for them on Chalet, hasn't worked since. That was Callout saying, guys, can play dynamically, sure, but we're playing around these mirror windows. We're playing around these positions. I want you on the dock. I want you grabbing a gun where you're not necessarily running around, but you're taking confident fights. You are a turret. That's exactly what a mirror window is as well, and to some degree what an Azami is. They're trying to lean more into this, and I think it's the right call.
Yeah. Mirror windows, they have a massive upside and a potential downside. They will often tether players to their location. What I mean by that is, if you see a mirror window here, every bone in your body is like, I should play here. This is a good position. And that can be a good thing because you're holding a part on the map. The potential downside here is you might start getting too stuck on that one position and tunnel vision that other things go the wrong way because you're giving up map control. I don't think SSG will have that problem particularly, but it is something that we see at pro play, lower level, tier 2, tier 3, and ranked especially, where, oh, mirror window, I'm going to sit here the entire round, regardless of what happens, I'm not going to adapt.
The flip side of that as well is if you're an attacking side, you see a mirror window, that's basically knowing where one player is.
True, yeah. And there's 2 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Now Dan finds an early pick. Where was J90? You shouldn't be losing your Azami in the first minute of the round. Azami is meant to be staying alive as long as possible, fortifying her position, wasting time as those keeper barriers generate. That's a huge blunder early on, and the story continues for SSG struggling in these early rounds on Cafe.
And they only have the Twitch drones from mirror window counterplay. Only 1 left alive right now in bar, just like the Bravo. It's fishing for the right value. It gets 1 mirror window done inside a freezer. So you've lost this Azami, you've lost one of your 2 mirror windows. Always gets a nade kill onto Forest? That doesn't really happen a whole lot these days.
It's over. This is devastating. Benja to find 1 kill with a C4. It's going to have to be an ace. You might catch someone on the rotate, but the plant's going down. He needs to take this first 1v1. Good shot onto Pasha. You know exactly where he is now. SMG 11. Quite a few fights to take here, and they're all going to need to be 1v1s. Cafe is just about the worst map to try and retake. This post plant is impossible. There's just no way you could possibly get that counter defuse while players are still alive. There's always a smirk from Kajeka behind the roster as well. And it's business back as usual again for VP.
This is everything is going according to plan. I mean, you're playing a structured, slow-paced game against one of the best structured players in the world, coming from Europe. That's, of course, Virtus.pro. I'm kind of a little bit surprised at the lack of verticality from SSG. Okay, that's how he died in piano, by the way, holding the window. Like,
why are you not playing behind a keeper barrier?
Yeah, why are you dry swinging that with the risk of dying? You're sprinting across, dying as well, not even taking gunfight opportunities, dying by running around. When I think of SSG and Cafe, I'm thinking C4s below. I'm thinking Valkyrie cameras. I'm thinking verticals. I'm thinking map contested across the board. They're playing top floor bar cocktail. They have 5 guys top floor actively swinging window repels. I'm like, that's not SSG that I know and love.
No.
They got the mirror windows, great. 2 people die before they get cleared.
Yeah.
Also not what I expect from them.
Yeah.
I think that's a Valkyrie. Yeah. That's great.
We do need to see just a change of pace and a change of mentality. SSG need to realize that if they don't give anything to VP, then VP have to earn it. And to be honest, VP haven't been earning a lot of these rounds. They've just been given opportunity after opportunity.
Yeah.
Here's a player holding an angle. All you have to do is drone him out or win an angle fight. You hold your angle as people rotate around the bomb site. That's another opportunity. SSG need to stop gifting VP these moments that allow VP to steal ahead.
It goes back to that first kind of philosophy that I spoke about, right? SSG are so good at creating this maze that's hard to navigate for attacking teams, but that's not been the case here at all. It's been hard for SSG to figure out what's the footing that we gotta go for. I hope now, past the halfway point after technical timeout, they can realize this. I don't even think the fact that Falls, to be fair, everyone but Benja is massively struggling on the individual fragging department, but I don't think that's the problem. I think it's more about, again, the decision makings as a team overall, how they're approaching these rounds. It's quote-unquote easy to fix, right? Just change your approach. But you're down 1-3, it's round number 5. If you lose this round, you're down 1-4 in the 3rd map or best of 3. You gotta fix it right here on this upcoming round. Or ongoing round.
Even now, just look at the way Ashen's playing this. He's trying to get up in their faces. Not a lot of time has been wasted. Half the round done, just about. VP have made some progress, but VP are more than happy to play slowly here.
Yeah.
I need SSG to just hold on to their positions as long as possible. Ashen does find his kill. At least his injure and not confirmed. At least he does cut his losses. He doesn't need to overextend. Same story here for J90.
Cut the losses, you got the injury, he's low on HP, that's good enough. 1 minute, 20 seconds left. You can now start playing those basement staircases or the bottom floor staircases, play by the bomb side, fish for a C4, they got 2 in pocket, Valcam as well. They're in a prime position still. VP, they gotta do verticality, they gotta walk down the red staircase, they gotta figure out what set they wanna attack. SSG, they can sit back now, wait for the next kind of couple of moves, then lash out and strike back.
SSG just have to keep biding their time. They don't need to rush things here. There's so much ability to deny this plant from below, no matter where it goes down. We have Valkyrie cameras, we have Mozzie. We need to just whittle down that timer and then spring to life in the late round.
As it crazy, there's 8 drones alive from VP, all deployed on the map itself. They have so much intel in their dedicated areas. 30 seconds left. This is the first 5v5 execute I think we've seen in the entire best of 3 so far. It comes down this next couple of seconds. Who's gonna get that opening kill?
Ash is just waiting. There's the opening pick. Ashen down. One of the C4s eliminated. Forrest, the only one with a nitro cell left in his pocket. And Pasha has the read here. And he finds the kill on the falls. The second one goes begging. Forrest, he's the one with the C4. He needs to win this fight. And he falls. He goes and takes down Pasha. The plan is denied. Ben just swings through to save the day for Space Station. And they keep their heads above the water.
They brute force it. Again, where's the verticality that we know and love? But the thing is, VP, they thought about it, right? they were attacking the downstairs bottom mid portion as well, knowing that, hey, there's gotta be a C4 player downstairs. There was good distraction game, good bait and switch, and SSG, they played on the same page. They all fell back towards the bomb site. They all waited together, and they said, okay, now they're planting. Now it's 4 versus 5. 3, 2, 1, push from every direction possible. Either we get the kills or we get the planter. Either scenario is enough. This gunfight took way too long, by the way, from both players. It's a weapon swatch, run back up the staircase, get the deagle kill. And while that happened, kill the player vertically. 2 players send it together, Benja getting both those kills, then take down the planter in 0 seconds of time.
Yeah, but skin of their teeth, though, for SSG.
Way too close.
It was just Benja winning that. And if he hadn't won the vertical fight through the floor...
and then it's over.
It's completely over. VP got damn close, and now SSG have one last chance to hack it on their defensive side before we switch over into the second half. And I still am not convinced by SSG. That was by the narrowest of margins that they got that round. I'm not convinced that they'll get another one. And look at that. As soon as the round begins, E1D.
Yeah, the reason why you do that these days is that if defenders start running around, you red spot them, so Deimos can track them essentially. Obviously, Action Vigil is going to pop the scanner, so he's not going to get spotted by the line charge. But if you see an early E1D in ranked or competitive play, is to try and get the pings of Deimos to actually get it as early as possible, like with Mossy getting spotted here.
Yeah, very good. Doesn't waste the drones as well, which we've seen have been a hot commodity for VP.
Yeah,
they just take
8 live.
Hell of a lot of damage there as well. As that Deimos tracker pushes him back. Got the Jackal as well.
It's very aggressive VP this round.
Jackal, Dokkaebi, Deimos, Lion. What a combo.
Yeah. Also worth noting here, SSG had reading bomb side open for them. Despite that, they went for kitchen again, which statistically is like a what is that about? But they got this kind of pseudo roam game first floor, top floor in mind. The hatch isn't open though. Jenna, we see this already sprinting across the bomb side. I gotta open this hatch right now. It's important for my teammates. SSG don't want map control. But as we said earlier, VP's lineup, the Jackal, the Dokkaebi, the Deimos, they are so suited to fight this. Ashen goes kind of unnoticed because the Vigil Scanner is active. 50-50.
Oh, nice bait. And the Jackal also was not being used on him. It was being used to spot faults. Now they need to find Ashen's footsteps. He could be the savior of this round. The death mark fails, but always finds him through the floor. Great work there from VP to get the response needed. Joystick is done, but that doesn't really matter. The Jackal, his utility to force back these defenders was utilized already, and SSG have fallen back to the basement.
Exactly. Joystick did the job, and they getting the kills everywhere right now. They know how they're getting these. They've seen a 2v4. Now they're kind of forced to walk up a staircase, maybe go for more kills because they have no C4s at the pocket. The floor is being broken right above their heads. There's a free play somewhere on the floor. I can hear it. And I think it's one of the active players, possibly at least. But regardless of that, with the Deimos tracker being alive, one of these players will get spotted the entirety of this round, basically.
What's more, Benja is low. He needs to find this kill so desperately. Reveals his position, vulnerable to Vert in so many different positions. Just a matter of time before VP find it, no doubt. Here comes the swing, and Shepard gets him. Up to Forest now in a 1v4. And VP have already made their way forward. He needs to get aggressive. 2 players in the freezer. He has to find a nade tossed his way, and Shepard puts him in the dirt. VP have won the half outright, 4-2. The momentum squarely on their side, and the ball will just keep rolling.
And even more importantly, VP are showing us both sides of the coin of how they play Rainbow Six Siege. They played that super slow, methodical top floor attack against the mirror windows, where they're using their utility, their drones, they pick apart the mirror windows, they push it in, they plant. It's very simple. Then in that most recent round that we just witnessed, they're doing fast entry, top floor roam clear, getting super active, the verticality, the trade game, the precision, while being so quick. That's that newer style of them that they're still getting used to. We see it once in a while, and they're getting better and better at it. So that's attack done and dusted for Virtus.pro. Can they find success on defense? Laxing was the one saying on the desk that when they went to bank, they start defense. That's going to go really well for them. That's what they found. That's what they like to play. He was so right about it. If that same philosophy is going to play around here, going up 4-2, entering defense is going to be a ridiculous stat line. It's going to be very hard to beat if you're SSG.
Yeah,
this is beating expectations.
This is massive. exceeding of expectations for VP. I'm just really concerned for SSG. They were playing out of their minds on Chalet, and they just seem rattled. I don't think they have a way back into it. Their confidence has been shaken. And yeah, whoever loses this map still gets 1 point out of the series. That's how the group scoring works.
Yeah.
There are 4 points up for grabs in every BO3 in the group stage. If you win it 2-0, you get all 4. If you win it 2-1, you get 3 of the 4, and then the loser gets just 1. If you lose 2-0, you get nothing.
Yep.
So SSG, should they lose this game, they still walk away with 1 point, but that's a far cry from what they were looking for.
Yeah, especially how things started out, like that 7-2 Spacestation. It looked like we could write off the entire series right then and there. 7-1 victory by VP on Bank, followed shortly after. What is going on? Things are just flipping upside down, back and forth, and SSG now on this attack. Noteworthy now, I guess, Foles is 0-6. He has not done a single on the server. This man is so... I had a word in my mind. I don't know. The potential is there. He can do it.
He's
That's what I'm trying to say.
Though.
Yeah.
We saw map 1. What was he got, like 10 kills or something?
Exactly.
On the first map. 7-2 was the scoreline of the map, but he was farming. He had some huge moments, and he was fired up. I saw him in the hallway after that game. I said, oh, wow, you guys played out of your minds. And he said, yeah, we'll do that the same on Bank. And then they didn't. And now he's 0-6, former world champion. Can't hack it. VP are only building that momentum more and more. Here comes the aggression from Forrest. He needs to find this kill. Always eventually goes down. And this is what we've needed to see from SSG. They flood the site. They find the picks. Now it's all up to Joystick now in a 1v4. An ace will be required. He's not in position for it. Like days of old, he's got that 416 in hand, but Ashen puts him down. And the half starts flying for SSG.
Beautiful gap find. This is exactly what the kind of playstyle Forrest brings to a team. We saw his stats for the year. He's like -74, but he just single-handedly found a gap that won them the round. Just dropping Skylight, Fire Flames goes out, gets the 1 kill, flicks and tries to go for a second. The entire team is working off him, initiating that push. It was beautiful. It was VP. They had 3 ADSs, Asami to keep the barriers, all of Piano. None of that mattered because they just took it from Red Hatch drop, New Hatch drop, and Skylight drop and just found 3 kills in quick succession. It's simple, it's clean, and it worked out flawlessly.
And yeah, like we were talking about on the first map, not a lot of hype out of the SSG boys. They know that they're on the ropes. Yeah, and very stoic in the cameras. Not a lot of volume out of them. I can't believe I'm saying this, but VP are louder than SSG in this series. And it's not like VP is spanking him or anything. It's 4-3 on map 3. Only 1 round separates them. SSG need to fire up. We need that energy back.
I'm very curious, VP, like, let's say they go for utility again. I mean, because they kind of like the Warden, the Jaeger, they're still kind of playing a little more old school Cafe, if you will. If this keeps not working for them, then we gotta talk adaptation. And that's kind of where Virtus.pro, they are the weaker team than most of this event. When you gotta flex on the spot and say, oh guys, our primary plan isn't working, what's next? So if SG can win out this round, already that will do like a lot of mental damage towards VP in their strategical side. Really get SG into the right spot. I mean, they're bringing some funky operators right now. Sense, Amaru, Blitz, Ram. Not super conventional on Cafe, but certainly can work. And the thing is, they can do many different styles of attacks with this lineup. I have no idea what they're cooking right now because it's just like on the roof, they're opening windows, doors, applying pressure. It's a dining hatch angle.
Yeah, this is something very special cooked up here.
So you can sense box him in and get up, basically.
Yeah, wow.
You see the sense now coming out. 3, 2, 1.
Up he goes.
Reinforced twice.
Wow. The reinforcement makes this impossible now. Oh, the C4 shot out of midair. They know exactly what's going on. And the plant still goes down. A few picks found regardless, but the plant denial was not there. Now SSG have to cover this in the post plant. In a 3v3, that's not a given. The Blitz does find some. Okay, absolutely nothing. It seems that Always has sprung to life. He's having the game of his life at the moment. He hits 10 kills, and now Benja has to cover. Always finds every damn one of them. VP on the retake. SSG have some funky strats, but the bear's been awoken. There's nothing you can do about it.
возможно, собью, это значит, ты курсишь и въебываешь раунд.
I'm trying to put together the post-plant plan there, because Foles got the plant down, stayed inside of dining. He's 1-6 at that point. Loses a gunfight against one of the top fraggers in the entire server of always, and just dies. And it's like, what about the window repel? What about downstairs control?
Where's the coverage?
Where's the I feel like there's so many small ways where SG could optimize the post plant. The bomb going down. The Deimos weapon swap the exact same frame. Blitz goes up, dies as well. I feel like SSG could have actually peeled off instead of aggressing forward there. And again, just play for post plant. You planted down the diffuser. That's the hard part. The easy part is what comes next. But they didn't go for that.
Damn, now, that reaction from Pasha.
Genius play for
Passion.
Pasha is a goat.
Yeah. Oh, he's bringing the energy. That's for damn sure. All right, 2 rounds away from closing this matchup. VP have been in control for the last hour and a half, 2 hours in this series, which is so funny. SSG, I mean, if you tuned in Chalet, you saw that, and then you tuned out, you thought, oh, this is going to be a bit of a boring series. You would be in for a hell of a surprise if you tuned back in now. SSG, they keep trying, they keep coming up with nice ideas, they got these pocket strats, and I love the enthusiasm, but there's no conviction behind it.
It's close, but close doesn't cut it, right? I mean, there's these like very small imperfections that just crack the entire picture. Again, they get this like tiny spot where they can plant behind the sense wall. VP have no idea what's happening, and it still just doesn't work. Now they're bringing out, I guess, more conventional operators, like the Capitals being brought out, the Blackbeard, the Hibana. They're chilling. I think SG right now, they're gonna slow things down, go back to basics, if you will, try and pick apart Virtus.pro. And they've brought themselves also a bit of like looseness here. The Mute, the Warden, the Capcan, the Jaeger, all very free operators that roam around and take gunfights. Only Shepard on Smoke, who is the support player, has to worry about his life because like toxic babes get more value the less time there's left in the round. And with Spacestation being relatively slow so far, this plays more and more into the benefit of Virtus.pro, given that they have Capcan and Smoke on the board.
Was Genino cooking? Ashen on the rappel of White Window. Genino looking to march forward, but the gas forces him back a little bit longer. He can breach through the wall here. A little known ability from Blackbeard to breach like that. Always continues. 12 kills to only 2 deaths. That Blackbeard feeling the pressure, the shots, the HP dwindling. Out comes the nade. Genino finds one onto Pasha. Dan just needs a few bullets. The smoke grenade doesn't work for him. And Dan's found 2. It's a 2 versus 2. Fultz and Ashen look to try and reply. Upstairs, Fultz in the fight. He gets joystick. The reply, it's Fultz against Dan! But Dan finds 4 in the round! VP are just 1 away from getting this done.
I feel like we've barely said Dan's name his entire best of 3. He's been kind of silent. He was completely missing on map number 1. He's like 3 and 9 on the scoreboard. Now, he's finally had a big moment with that phenomenal 4K. It's always popping off so far in his entire best of 3 series. He was 11 and 2 when this round started. No one can stop him. When they finally do, there's a different bear who's even more hungry. Dan, 6 and 3 when this round started. 10 and 3 at the end of it. There's a great bait play there, but then they kind of ruined it for VP. And then here, bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, too good.
It's clean.
If there was any moment for Fultz to stand up, it would have been right then. How do you come back from this? SSG, 3 match points against them. It's been a long journey, full of heartbreak in this map, in this series. Starting so strong and gradually getting worse and worse. Map 2 was a shellacking in favor of VP. Cafe's been competitive, but I'm not gonna lie, I've never had hope for SSG in this map. We've seen little moments, but just something about my heart has been won over by VP.
I get it. I do. I just feel like the SSG we saw in Chalet was such a different take than on Bank and such a different take than on Cathay. I know maps they play out differently and whatnot, and you adapt as a best of 3 progresses. But for some reason, I can't quite figure out why that would be. I feel like SSG are so far from the playstyle of Chalet, where they play together, they have the good timings, they had a mini play and execute for every single outcome. Now it feels like they have plan A, and the second they lose a player, or they can't get what they want immediately, they don't have another great point to go towards. And it just kind of falls apart. And they're relying on individual heroics, kind of like in the past, but without having the numbers for it. The most positive player they have is 8 and 7 Benjamaster. Like, that's it. And he's not the first guy in the building. He's like usually like one of the last players in the gunfight. The fact that he has that many kills is often late round or exit frags, not super impactful.
Well, SSG have begun the Vert game. C4 finishes off that Boogie drone. What else is there to say for SSG? We need more of this floor torn up.
Yeah, they gotta be fast because again, they got Echo, Goyo. Actually, C4 is spent by always on the mute, so just to go on the Echo as well. So being good here, or being fast here is a good thing. The pacing is excellent from SSG. They gotta keep it up. Get those switch drones down, pop the Goyo canisters, buy yourself that time later on, and then hit the bombs that execute. They got Blindbeard, they can escort into the diffuser. I would say SSG, they got everything going for them so far.
And yeah, I still find it hard to believe that they're going to win this. Are they looking for a gap? Are they going to go bakery?
Wait, that's not super common, actually.
This is unusual.
This could be dangerous, because like this is where you can lose the round if you don't clear out this like effectively.
There are Yokai drones to support as well, should that Blackbeard come in.
Oh,
this is a huge risk from SSG. Here comes the boost. Spot as well. Joystick is the perfect operator for it. He's got that DMR. He can thread the needle on these pixel battles.
They have no more nades, just flashbang. They're walking in.
In they go.
Behind.
Straight into the meat grinder. The Yokai's there for it. Benja finds it eventually, but not without a lot of damage being done. Folds finished off. Always traded back by J90. SSG weather the storm. They take the map control at significant cost.
3 on 3, 25 seconds. No time to drone this. She's just gonna go in full send it. The thing is, there is still one Echo drone in pocket. I mean, yeah, inside a bakery. So if timer keeps ticking down, it will be the end of it all because they got the Yokai. Didn't know 1 health now. Goify was popped behind him. 10 seconds left.
It's got to come down to Benja. He hears the Yokai though. He has to shoot it. There's no time. There's no ability.
There's no way.
Shepard is toying with them. Eventually, the Yokai goes down, and now Benja has to stick it, but it's denied. If you poke the bear, you better be ready when he wakes up. And boy, did VP wake up today. They go down easy on Chalet just to bounce back on Bank and Cafe. It's a 2-1 for the Russians.
And I know the Yokai drone itself didn't stop that, plan from going down, but what it did do is both of the attackers were flicking up, down, left, right, and when they finally went for Planet Tim, guess what? The other VP players pushed up aggressively and got to that outside, shot down the planet with their guns instead. Timer was slowing down, almost no seconds left. Players, 1 left in the lobby as well. SSG got out-adapted by Virtus.pro. Didn't see that one coming.
Not something we see every day. We'll have an interview after this break, so stick around.